Hello, everybody! Happy Sunday. Glad to see you all. Hello, Shinobu, and any lurkers out there in the chat. Hope everyone is having a wonderful end to their weekend here. First weekend of June, actually, here. So it's been kind of a little bit of a chaotic day. I was hoping to get to stream earlier, but we are still making a day out of it, and I'm not alone this time. Let me switch over to the IRL me screen here, and we'll introduce. I have somebody joining me today, and I'll go ahead and introduce said person. You know him, you love him. He's joined us before. The wonderful Mr. BretTheBreton.
Hey everybody, how's it going today?
Always good to get a Cartman voice in.
I am thrilled to be here today, and I have seen the subject matter, and am now the excitement has been doubled. Put it that
way. I tried to plan this thinking of who I have involved.
I appreciate that. It showed. You do good work.
But yeah, today we're going to be doing a couple of tier lists. It's something I've talked about doing, wanting to do on the channel here for a bit, and just kind of talk about things we love, don't love as much, what we do and don't like, because that's what makes the world great, is diversity, and we can't always agree on everything, and sometimes we will. And this is going to be fun figuring all that out together. But let's do the couple of fun on-camera things before we dive into our first list here. So we always do a plushie of the stream, and today I chose my Sylveon plushie, mainly just because it's Pride Month, and it's Sylveon. Pink, white, and blue is Pride Month for, you know, Trans Pride. So it is the Trans Pride Pokemon. Let's call a spade here. I felt this would be appropriate for a June stream. Plus, it's Sylveon, and they're adorable. So, hello, Sylveon.
Do you know the song "Children of the Sun"? Children of the Sun.
Yes.
Sun. Okay, you need to re-record that, but plushie of the stream.
I kind of like this idea, actually. I really do. Actually, I'm going to set you here, Sylveon. Today, if you didn't know, would have been Prince Roger Nelson's birthday today. So, in honor of the late, great Purple One, today's vinyl is my copy of Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution. This was the 2015 re-release, but they packaged it identical to the 1984 release, complete with, hang on, if I could actually pull it out of here, complete with the poster. Which, is there a more 80s image than this image?
Is it him on the motorcycle?
It's him with the glove and the big sequin number.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yep. So that stays in here, and it's
Whoa. What was that?
That was surreal.
Are we drinking already? Is that what's going on? What's in this glass? Anyway.
I'll say I have been drinking some.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it then. What the hell?
I'll show you what I've been drinking here. So I actually picked up at a case recently. So Troegs Brewery out of Pennsylvania, out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. They make this IPA called Graffiti Highway, and they make several different variations on it, and they're all yummy. So I got myself that, and that's what I've been drinking so far today.
Nice.
The one they did this year is a single hop IPA for it. It's not bad. I think I prefer the standard, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, next time it'll be 2 hops next time. Sorry.
Take it back now. Oh, gosh.
I was really hoping you would pick up on that.
I haven't done that in a while. The cha-cha slide, my God. I haven't been to a wedding in a few years either, so.
Yeah. That's the only time you see it now is weddings.
Weddings, mostly. Either weddings or, like, Like if we were younger, I'd say this would be at like a school dance type of thing,
Yeah. Or
But
like an ironic thing somewhere or something.
well, it feels like there's always some kind of like group dance number of the time.
Yeah,
Like,
true. Yeah.
because we had the electric slide, the
Mhm.
YMCA, and
Yep,
then
yep.
yeah, just so many of that. The Macarena.
Yeah, well, I mean, they work well for people because a lot of people either don't dance or don't know how to dance or whatever, and it just gives people with a basic sense of rhythm something to do for a few minutes, and I have no issues with that.
That's true. That's very true. Like, there's nothing that gets um a bunch of old white people on the floor quicker than like the chicken dance or the electric slide. You know?
Exactly, yeah. And another note for that, never underestimate the entertainment value of drunk people doing pretty much anything.
Oh
So
yeah,
it works for everybody, even if you're not
indeed,
dancing.
indeed. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into our first list here. And if there's
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
one thing I know that both myself and Brett here have a passion for, it's mixology slash cocktails mixed drinks.
Yep. Just to make one thing abundantly clear before we begin, neither of us are alcoholics. We are alcohol enthusiasts. There
Indeed.
is a difference.
This is very true. I know when to stop.
Yeah, yep.
But now, clear thing here, and Brett and I were talking about this before the stream started. I was looking up various lists for doing this stream, and I knew I wanted to do cocktails, but here's the thing: cocktail lists are hard because you're either getting like a lot of them are way too much. Because let's think about how many cocktails there are. Think about when you go to a bookstore and there is that thick ass book of cocktail recipes that's like the bartender's guide or whatever. Yeah. So we weren't going to do every cocktail. But I also wanted to avoid ones that only had pictures of the drinks instead of the names of the drinks, because we'd spend half our time being like, well, it has this garnish, so I guess it's this drink. And I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
So we're going to go with the list here. I actually have technically two lists, and we'll kind of play it by ear and see how it is. And I figure one of the things we can do from this is it's inevitably going to get a discussion going on our other favorite drinks or things that we have made, because you and I have both made. One thing I might do at some point, Brett, actually I don't mind, is I might send you the card with the recipes of all the drinks I made for everybody on the convention scene years ago, and just be like, all right, let's rank these now.
Okay. Yeah, I would be down for that.
So, all right. Hello, Zenimus. Oh, Shinobu's talking about a Mai Tai in the chat.
It's one of my things. Mai Tais are wonderful if they don't have pineapple juice. If they have pineapple juice, it's still a good drink, but it's no longer a Mai Tai. I will die on this hill.
All right. I don't know how these got in this order. It's very strange that a whiskey sour is the first one on the list, but we'll go with it. I
All right, yeah,
say,
I might be kind of semi-randomized.
I am a whiskey fan. I like me a good whiskey. I'm 10 towards rye whiskeys myself, but there's good bourbons out there too.
Mm.
Whiskey sour, I think, is a nice part of this too. Here's the part of the problem with ranking cocktails is it somewhat depends on who's making it.
Oh yeah, big time. That's one of the things that I was noticing looking at this. Like a whiskey sour, for example. I mean, if you get it at a more high end place, they're not going to use the pre-made sour mix. So it's going to be something fresh and better, and because there's going to be a sliding scale of quality within each of these. But just as far as like the general recipe, and how the ingredients complement each other, maybe might be the place to look. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I've had I don't think I've ever had a bad whiskey sour, but I've had some that are much better than others. I will say that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I actually kind of agree with Shinobu in the chat. I think historically I have liked amaretto sours better than whiskey sours, believe it or not. It's just something about the essence of amaretto, the way it plays with the sour mix. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I like that sort of amaretto flavor profile. It's almost like a spicy, almost like a Dr. Pepper kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So I'm kind of like in here in this A to B range with whiskey sour. Like it's good. It's definitely good. I don't think of whiskey sour that like S to me is the drink like before I get to the bar, I already want to order the drink. Whiskey sour is the drink I get when I can't think of other drinks to get.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that to me puts
I would tend to agree with that. Actually, before you place it, though, let me do one thing real quick. The ASMR portion of our show, I have a bottle of Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I'm going to pop this open. There's that.
Ooh.
And the ASMR portion, let me see if I can do this. Hold on. There we go.
Nice.
Just a little splash. Just a little splash. Okay, continue.
I'm honestly like, this might make me sound like I'm being a harsh critic, but I kind of want to put it in B. Like it's good, but it's not great.
I'm with that. Yeah, I was going to vote B myself because a whiskey sour is not like a destination drink. It's not, you don't go somewhere to drink a whiskey sour. You drink it because that's what they have most of the time because it's such a kind of a common drink, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But there are far better drinks on this list. I think it's sort of the classic combination, yes, but I don't know. I would keep it as a B.
Yeah. All right. A Moscow Mule now. I have a fondness for Moscow Mules, and I believe you do as well.
As do I.
Yeah, it's... This is tough because it's like, does it put into S because I have the fondness or not? It's...
I would... this is a tough one. I would say the drink is very flexible. I mean, technically, we're talking about now the whole mule category rather than Moscow Mule. But
yeah, mules are very like there's so many different. Like if you get to a good bartender, they can make you like 20 different kinds of mule drinks.
Oh yeah, you can mix practically anything with it. I don't think they work with rum, but yeah, you can get a bourbon. What is it? A Tennessee Mule, something like that. But yeah, I would put that as A tier as well because the Moscow Mule is kind of one of my go-to drinks. Yeah. When I go to a new place that doesn't have like specialty cocktails or whatever. So.
I think I've discussed with you. This was one of the winning recipes that I had put in for one of the conventions I had worked with. Was it was essentially a Moscow Mule, but it added apple cider and caramel syrup and made it a caramel apple Moscow Mule, and it was
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. Okay, a dark and stormy. There's another drink that I know that's similar to a dark and stormy, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But
is it fog cutter maybe or
maybe fog cutter?
It's kind of in that category of tiki drinks there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the nice thing about a dark and stormy, because it gets in it. Okay, it plays in the realm of tiki drinks because of the rum. Let's face it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it is specifically you're supposed to use dark rum, which does impact the flavor. Here. Yep. I do have an enjoyment for things with ginger beer, I've noticed. So I'm kind of in that A to B range again.
Yeah, I'm down for an A on that one myself because dark and stormy is one of my favorites, and I don't know, it varies so much depending on which kind of ginger beer you use and which kind of rum you use and all these sorts of things. But all in all, it's a solid drink. It's a good flavor combination. It just works well together, and the blending is really good, unlike maybe some of the others. So I would keep that A tier. I'm good with that.
If we take a break at some point, I might do some research to try and figure out what other cocktail I was thinking of. And why is that?
Yeah, there's
I want to. Okay. Since we're streaming, I can talk about this. So I've noticed that when we do these streams and I Google things, I find interesting things in my Googles. And
oh yeah.
so I was bringing up some recipes on the side here just to make sure, like, hey, I know these drinks, but let me make sure I'm talking the right stuff. So when you're looking up recipes for cocktails, people also ask, what is Taylor Swift's favorite cocktail?
Yeah, I can see that. I'm gonna take a guess. I do not know the answer to this. I would say like a Cosmo or a lemon drop or something like that. Something with a little bit of kick to it, but not anything hardcore. Maybe a Cape Cod. I don't know.
You're along
What do
the
you?
right lines.
What'd she say?
We're going for something a little more niche. We're going for a French blonde,
Oh,
which is
what is
gin
that?
and elderflower liqueur and grapefruit juice.
Oh, I love anything with elderflower liqueur. Oh, that stuff's so good.
So,
And a quick tip to listeners out there: if you're looking for elderflower syrup, the place to get it is IKEA of all things, which I found out a long time ago.
Yeah, they would sell it up with the lingonberry syrup.
Yep, exactly that. And it's concentrated as all get out, and it's good just by itself when you mix it up. Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Rum and Coke. Okay, here's the deal. Now, if
I bet I know where you're going to go on this.
if 19-year-old Ford was doing this list, it'd be an S. Modern age forward, it's boring.
give it a C. that would be my assumption on that one, because it's a very, once again, it's a very basic drink, but rum and Coke, there's not a lot of it doesn't kind of have a family to go with it. It just kind of here's this drink, there's not a lot of variation and stuff like that. So yeah, it is, you're right, it's boring.
The most I'll do is like rum and cherry Coke, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or rum
yeah.
and vanilla Coke. Jack and Coke. Yeah, that's a good point. Jack goes really good with Coke too. And that's one of those other things. It's like it's just two ingredients. It's serviceable. That's what that drink is.
Yep.
It is
Yep,
serviceable.
It's a good serviceable drink. Yeah.
It's what I drank at the bar in Boston when I was still too young to be drinking at the bar in Boston.
Exactly. And that's another thing about rum and Coke is its association with underage drinking. There's a lot of that out there, including myself. So yeah, I'm I could go either way on this one, but I'm good with the C for it.
I am. Cosmo. I like a Cosmo personally. I'm kind of curious for your take, but I do like a Cosmo.
My take is I have to shut my door because it just blew open for some reason. I wasn't expecting that.
no.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So I like Cosmos. I know there's a lot of, how do I put this? There's a lot of a kind of just a stereotype, right, of who drinks a Cosmo, and I think Sex and the City is probably partially to blame for that.
Yeah. There's many. I didn't hear what you said before I came back, but there's so many different variations of Cosmos now, and I believe Sex and the City very much popularized it.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of stereotypes. Like I think it gets oh, hello first timer. Vanilla. Hello. Welcome in. Cosmo. I honestly I think it's an A. I honestly think it's an A.
Oh, it's a solid drink, and it's got, like I said, it's got the family to kind of back it up. Yeah, I would go with an A. I would go with, let's see, I would go, there's no category for it. I would go with an A minus. I think I like it a little bit less than maybe you like it, but I will still drink them.
We can we can also add, hang on.
Oh, no, don't overcomplicate it.
We can rename these anything we want. They gave us the power. Mad power.
So F category will now be crap. So yeah, I don't have too much to throw in on a Cosmopolitan. It's not exactly a go-to drink for me. I will have them sometimes. they're okay. I like them much better than a whiskey sour. So that does justify its placement. I don't think I like them quite as much as a Moscow Mule. That's why I'm saying kind of in
We
between.
can leave them here at the
but I'm
end
fine.
of the A's too.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So White Russian is a drink that I this drink I think also changed for me as I got older, and part of that is probably the lactose intolerance.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure the milk had something to do with it.
I will make one with almond milk, and it's still fine, but it's not quite as good, and it's also a heavy drink.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Kahlua, it adds a really good flavor to it, but it also makes it like you're saying, it's like a heavy, it's like a more filling drink than others. But I think most of that is due to the dairy content.
So like when I was young, I enjoyed them a lot more. I It's okay. Like I mean I think it's a solid drink. Vodka, Kahlua, and cream. I mean, it's a pretty simple basic cocktail.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, like even if it weren't for the lactose thing, it's still heavy.
Yeah.
So
And especially like depending on time of year as well, it's better I think in the fall and spring. Maybe in the summer, it's anything with milk in it is kind of weird in the summer to begin with.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So B, yeah, B or C. Which do you think, B or C? Because
maybe I or do you think
okay.
it'd be?
I would maybe argue. I don't know. I'm torn on this one.
Yeah, right. Like it's definitely it's above rum and coke. I know that much because it's got more flavor than that. And I will say, you know what? I'm gonna push it into B because of a variation I did it on this one time.
Oh, what'd you do?
I took the vodka portion and made it half chocolate vodka, half vanilla vodka.
Oh, that actually sounds really good.
It was a little more chocolatey, and that plays really well with the notes of the Kahlua.
Yeah, and you can do stuff like that with a drink like that. And
so
yeah, no, I think that's for a B right there because you can modify it and add. Yeah.
Now, okay. Talk about a drink that's been modified to hell.
Oh boy.
We've got the daiquiri. Now.
Yes, we do.
I guarantee you. I shouldn't say guarantee you, but I'm willing to bet you. It says here that there's 6 viewers right now and 2 of us. That means out of 8 of us. Out of 8 of us, maybe 1, if we're lucky, has had a genuine, real, straight daiquiri. The original format. Because because daiquiri, like when you think of daiquiri anymore, what do you think? You think of going to like Chili's or Texas Roadhouse and getting one of those giant punch bowls of this frozen concoction, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what the original daiquiri was.
Yeah, basically it's fruit and alcohol, and everyone has kind of gone nuts with that and called it a daiquiri, which I guess is fine as long as they include the modifier like peach daiquiri or what have you. But yeah, the original drink is I think if you can get the original drink at some place that has fresh ingredients, it's a really superior drink. I don't know if it would compete with like a Mule or a Cosmo. I would probably myself put a daiquiri as a B.
I'm thinking B,
but
it
would be a strong B. It's a strong B because it does have so many variations you can do with it.
Yeah, because
it's more versatile.
So here's a fun fact. My first legal drink when I turned 21 at midnight was a strawberry daiquiri. And it was the exact type. It was at a chain restaurant. It was frozen, came in a big ass thing. But, I was a kid and my eyes were big, right? And I just wanted this big ass drink to come out to the table where I was sitting. Oh, man. I agree. Okay, this I'm going to be interested. I might defer to you more on the Bloody Mary because I don't do much in the way of tomato juice personally.
Gotcha. Okay, so Bloody Mary is a fan. It's the best if you want to do a like a hangover drink or whatever the next day. Bloody Mary is absolute top of the heap on that because it does have excuse me, it does have the like there's sort of an acidity to the tomato juice. There's you've got all your different garnishes and things that you can do with it. It's like kind of like a salad bar breakfast in a glass, sort of, depending on where
From
you
what I
get
know,
it.
yeah,
But
you got your tomato juice. I know a lot of people put hot sauce in it,
yep.
which I feel like that's kind of like kicking your body back awake, so to speak, after the
Yep.
alcohol.
Exactly. Have you ever had a Bloody Maria?
No, what's a Bloody Maria?
It's a Bloody Mary with tequila, and it goes exceptionally well.
I
Because tequila is kind of a
Tequila would
like
play
with
with those
tequila, you usually have,
flavors.
yeah,
Yes.
you have like a peppercorn taste and stuff to go with it, and it works really really well with the tomato juice. In fact, I that's like all I drank for a stretch there. I would drink Bloody Marias when we went out someplace.
It's just
I used to have to explain to people because they wouldn't know what it was. It's like it's a Bloody Mary, but tequila. They're like, what? I was like, just trust me, just make the damn thing.
I honestly, because of what it does, because of the ingredients in it, even though I don't drink tomato juice, I'm tempted to put it here.
Yeah, I myself would put it as an A because of the variations. Oh, and I am remiss. I'm making an error here. There's also a variant of the Bloody Mary called the Bloody Caesar, which is popular with our Canadian entourage, our Canadian listeners, which is a fantastic drink, and I think I might like those even a
Canada's
little bit.
I
Added.
I just googled it and it says it's Canada's unofficial national cocktail.
I believe that. That sounds about right. It's really good. It uses a different seasoning blend. They season the rim, and there's something else that's different. Oh, they make it with
Clam.
this is gonna sound weird. Yeah, I was gonna say clamato. However, you say clamato, I say clamato, whatever. But
I
they
say
make it with
bourbon and
that.
Coke, but
Well, there's room in the cocktail universe for everyone. But yeah, no, it's the Bloody Caesar is an absolute fantastic drink. Luna was the one that turned me onto those like years ago, and they're really really good.
I'm noting it here. Ooh, we've got a classic of classics here. We've got the
Mm-hmm.
old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I have things to say about that, but you go ahead.
okay. Um,
They are good things.
they are good things. They okay. This is another one of those drinks where hopefully you're at a bar who has good ingredients, because that's really, this drink needs good ingredients. You're not
That is correct.
you cannot mask it. Like that's one of those things about drinking in general, is there are certain drinks with mixers and such where if you don't get the most quality ingredients, you can mask that.
Right,
But
right.
but some things like an old fashioned, a martini, well, a regular martini, we'll say, like certain drinks like that, if you aren't getting quality ingredients, you're going to taste the difference immediately. And old fashioned
Exactly.
is
Yeah,
crucial here.
absolutely. I have been to places that did not have a cherry to muddle in the bottom or whatever, and so they would do a splash of grenadine, and it just is. It's
Oh,
drinkable. It's drinkable, but
if I paid
just
somebody for an old fashioned and I watched them put grenadine in the bottom, I don't know how I'd react.
yeah. It makes for a little discomfort, and it makes for me not ordering a second one when I see that. Like I said, it's not horrible, but it just doesn't. It's not.
One
No.
of the drinks that I made for Luna, actually, for the one I made based on their OC. And yeah, anyway, grenadine. Did you know grenadine's made from pomegranate? Fun fact.
Yeah, it's not cherry. It's pomegranate. Everybody substitutes it for cherry, but it's pomegranate.
Yeah, exactly. Um, the drink that I made for Luna was a takeoff of an old fashioned, but instead of using bourbon, I used Canadian whiskey because, Canadian, and
Mhm.
used some butterscotch schnapps in there to make it like a buttery butterscotch old fashioned. It was actually kind of good.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, when we went to Shinobu and Luna's wedding in Vegas, we stopped at one place. We actually had the reception there at the 1923 Prohibition Bar in the concourse between Luxor and Mandalay Bay, and this was the place that I. It's sort of an epic tale. I won't go into all of it, but it involves me being dared to eat a pepper, which I did and immediately regretted, and also involves me not remembering that I walked to the steak place after that. But anyway, yeah, no, fantastic drink. Yes,
I honestly this is the first one
S tier. Yep,
yeah, okay. You're with me
S
on
tier.
that. It's
Absolutely my
with
vote.
with the asterisk of made by a good bartender. You know, I guess
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
everything here. Did I just hit a button? Did I
I don't
change?
know. Did you?
I might have. It looks like everything is okay. So if I
Yeah,
did,
and
keep
the
going.
old fashioned. Just one last little note on that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly right. But I mean, if you're in the ballpark and if you have the fresh ingredients, it's you just can't beat it. It's old fashioned is kind of my go to drink.
Mm-hmm. Bay Breeze. Well, we went. It's a very different feel here. Very different. Which is not a bad thing. I like a tropical drink. Don't get me wrong. I love tropical drinks.
Yeah.
This is honestly, it's a pretty simple drink. The main thing is having your fruit juices on hand.
Right, right. Now is I don't order a lot of Bay Breezes. Is this the one with the what is it? Cranberry juice?
Cranberry and pineapple. It's vodka, cranberry, and
That's
pineapple. And it's here's my thing. Like I'm gonna tell you before I even go to place it. My gut tells me to put it in B because it's fine and it's serviceable and it's great and it tastes fine, but it's also not wowing me. You know?
yeah. I would be okay with a B, but we'll revisit this when we get to the Cape Cod because that's a very similar drink.
Good point. Let's put it
And
in
I
here for now.
yeah, put that in a B for now. And yeah, I have other things to say about the Cape Cod. I'm not a particular fan of either the Bay Breeze or the Cape Cod. And Bay Breeze is kind of sad because that was the name of the mascot of our Brony group, and I feel bad saying
Yes.
not a fan of the drink, but I'm not a
Such
big.
a cute mascot. Um, this cocktail is all about. Okay, let's be real. To get a real Manhattan, you need to get a real Luxor cherry on it, which are expensive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the case with a lot of these different drinks, but particularly with the Manhattan, if you want the quote unquote full experience, that's what you want to get.
Now, the ingredients. This is up my alley. It's we're talking rye whiskey and some bitters and some vermouth. Like this is going up my alley. I don't have many of these because of because I know a lot of places aren't going to give me the full experience.
Right.
So I don't order it much, but I do like it. Yeah, I don't know. Any comments you have?
Yeah, I like it a little better if it's made with like a what is it, the boulet, however you pronounce that, the sort of a rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I really like those. Uh, I don't know. I would kind of go. I would go either. I would probably go a B.
I'm gonna
Maybe
go
on.
top of B then.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
Because it's
agree
like
with
I'm
that.
close to
I was
A.
deciding between A and B. Yeah,
The
yeah.
only thing that keeps me from going A, I think, is it being able to get more. Oh, I see Magic Pants in the chat. Hi, Magic Pants.
What's up?
Welcome to our sounding drunk, but we're not.
Well, speak for yourself.
Gimlet.
I'm on my first Buffalo Trace, so yeah, I'm in good shape.
This is another simple drink, but a very classic. This is a simple but classic drink. I mean, it's simple flavors, I should say. Gin, lime, simple syrup. Boom.
Yep. You're good to go. The deciding factor on the quality of the gimlet, I think, is the quality of the gin used.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I am a big fan. I've been a big fan of aviation gin for a number of years now.
Yes.
Ryan
Same.
Reynolds, regardless. I mean, it's cool that he was involved in it. I think he's out of it now, but that was cool and everything. But you know, the gin itself is actually an incredibly good gin, and the reason I like it so much, the reason I didn't like gin for a long time, for like years, I didn't like gin, and the reason was that juniper berry taste. It just kind
Mm-hmm.
of punched you in the mouth whenever you took a sip, and it just made it a
It's
difficult drink to kind of get into
it's
before I found the aviation.
it's a very distinct taste, especially when you compare it to certain other spirit like vodka. Anyone can drink because it tastes like
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing.
I mean, I was 18 and sipping vodka straight from the bottle, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, gin, not so much. If you're
no.
sipping gin straight from the bottle and it's something like a beef eater or something like that,
Now,
that's I am not that hardcore.
one of my like you'll note like I don't tend to give this like the simple ones. I'm like a lot of the simple ones you'll notice I'm not that wowed by because I'm like, oh, it's just this. But my favorite drink is incredibly simple and it's coming up on this list and we'll get to it
Ah,
and it's relevant
good,
to
good, good,
this. Um
good, good.
but to this conversation. But yeah, I was also not a big gin fan before and I've become one later in life. And so a lot of these drinks I didn't have when I was younger, but nowadays I like cuz I think I'm liking these cleaner flavors, like this like cleaner taste that isn't muddled down with a million different things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like the more complex drinks as well, but
It all
there's something to be said
depends.
for the simpler things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm kind of torn. I think in a B for a gimlet, like it's simple flavors. You can
yeah,
play
yeah.
with it.
I am down with that. You just gotta the trick with the gimlet is to it's not just the gin, but also the like the what is it? It's lime that's in it, right? Yeah. Um, if it's fresh squeezed, that makes a absolute world of difference. If they use the bottled, you know,
Oh God,
concentrates or
no, I'm
whatever,
done
it,
with
it
that.
it it makes it bitter. It just makes it really
Like
bitter. So yeah,
like even when I'm just doing it for me, I don't keep a bottle of lime juice in the fridge anymore. I go down the store. Limes are like 50, 60 cents. Like I'll just buy a lime. Like
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
and speaking
Well,
of
they
lime,
cost that much now. Give it a few months.
speaking of lime, oh, knock on wood. Our next drink is full of lime. A
It is.
mojito. I gotta give it
Mojito.
up. I I love a mojito. I really do. I really feel like it is. There's a lot of rum drinks out there. I think this is one of the more elevated rum drinks. Like it feels more elevated than a Captain and Coke, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And also I have to do this. Mojito. It is not a gay drink.
I understood that reference.
Thank you. Good. No, it's clean, it's refreshing, and it's summertime is great. It's easy to make. What you got what mint leaves in
And
there.
people might like I can understand people out there would be like, "Ugh, I gotta muddle mint leaves and stuff." Like it's really not that hard.
It's not a big deal. Yeah. And it adds so much to the drink. And yeah, if it's mojito is at least in my experience is fairly forgiving, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
hard to make. I'm edging towards A tier, and I realize I just
Yeah,
said A without thinking about it, but I'm leaning towards A tier. There we go.
yeah. I think A is good. It's just it's such like it's such a tasty drink, and it's like I've I haven't made my own in a while, but man, I could kind of go for one now that I'm seeing it.
I know, right? We had some. It seems like Unbalanced and I had some on a stream somewhat recently. I don't remember, but yeah, that it's all around a very good drink, and you can do variations on it as well. But just the plain classic mojito, you really kind of can't go wrong no matter where you order that one. So that's a good thing.
A whiskey highball. I have opinions.
Let's hear them.
Because I you know what I feel like when I order a whiskey high if I order a whiskey highball that I'm mainly getting watered down whiskey.
Yeah, yeah. They're almost all well drinks. You can request them with other things, but here's the trick: is it really worth it? It's
Yeah, like
it's really kind of a basic drink, you know.
because honestly, your best bet is to do one of two things. Either instead of doing club soda, you do something like ginger ale,
Yeah,
or add some kind of like fruit component, or add something that spices it up, kicks it up a notch. So I give it some points for having that kind of capability. But on its own, I feel like I'd rather have just gotten a tumbler of whiskey on the rocks.
yeah, exactly. It's something. It feels like a low effort decision. You know, it
Honestly,
just feels like,
this is the
give me a highball. I'm good with whatever.
I'm
You
kind of
know.
thinking I'm gonna put it in D. I think this is the first
Yeah,
one because I feel like this is the closest we've both been to being like meh on one. I'm thinking that deserves
yeah.
D.
Yeah. Well, wait till we get to the next one, and then we'll revisit that comment.
Oh gosh. Okay. So a screwdriver is basically like I think when you're a teenager and you're
Yeah.
experimenting with what you can do with drinks, that's an easy go-to. Like, oh, I'll take mom's vodka and pour it in the orange juice.
Yep. Yep. And then you never go there again.
And
It,
like
go ahead. Go ahead. I'll get to
my
mine in a
my
minute.
whole thing about like I don't have any problem with orange juice cocktails. There's another one coming up in 2 that I like. But I feel like you need to do more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say one great idea of a simple, easy twist on a
Hmm.
screwdriver is use the whipped vodka because then it gives you like an orange cream type of flavor.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like that would elevate it a little bit. My main problem with the screwdriver is the orange juice component. I mean, if you do have like a fresh, once again, the ingredients, if you have like a fresh squeezed orange juice, it's better.
Oh my
But
god.
orange juice, man, it's so acidic. It is
Don't
so acidic.
doing anything from concentrate is a mistake when you're
No,
doing
no,
screwdrivers. Yeah. Um.
all of them.
Yeah. Like you gotta think ahead about balance how this stuff is going to balance out as you try to digest it. And alcohol is already going to play a little bit of hell with your body no matter what because it's alcohol.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yep.
your job as a bartender, as a patron, as somebody mixing a drink about to go into your body is to have it such that either the drink itself and or whatever you're accompanying with it like a snack or a meal is enough to balance out your body to where you're not on the floor in 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I have had like practically every time I've had screwdrivers, I've had a bad experience afterwards. So I have not had one in years. Now you mentioned the whipped vodka, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds like an interesting variant, and I'd be willing to give that a shot at some point. But as far as just a standard garden variety screwdriver, I would say hard no on that.
Yeah.
That's probably my least favorite on the list so far out of everything.
I
Some of that's personal experience though, so temper
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna put it at D, but I'm gonna put it ahead of whiskey highball just because I have had some positive experiences with it, but I don't have anything. There's nothing about a screwdriver that makes me go ooh, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting about it. Yeah, it's one of the oldest, most common drinks. You can get them anywhere, and
As
that's not a negative thing. You can get most of these
uh,
in many bars, but
and
still.
in contrast, a well-made Long Island iced tea with quality ingredients that will make me go ooh.
Oh, that if it's done with good ingredients and mixed properly and all that stuff, that is a super quality drink. That
This
is, it's
is
amazing how it works. I still don't understand the alchemy.
I don't get it either because I've had my share, and every time I
Mhm.
drink one, I'm like, this is how much alcohol in it? No way. There's just no way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's there's some kind of magic that takes place on this particular one, and I honestly don't understand it because it should be an overpowering, knock you down
Yeah.
taste, and it is not that.
I'm
So,
almost I I'm almost tempted to put it in S just because of the miracle that is it.
Yeah, I would support that. And once again, it's baffled me for a long time trying to figure out how it tastes the way it does with the ingredients that it has. It shouldn't work, and it works. So I can't argue that.
Oh, hi, pirate.
Oh, hey, it's Pirate. What's up? What's up?
I think pirates of whiskey sour, man. Hey, we weren't dissing whiskey. Might I add? Can I add? If you're coming in late, the reviews we're giving, like even our ones in D, we're not saying we hate them or dislike them. Like we like pretty much everything on here. It's just a matter of trying to rank what we would drink, you know?
Yeah, exactly. None of them are horrid. The my least favorite on the screen right now is Screwdriver. But a lot of it depends on the ingredients and all these other things. And most of the ones that I think we're grading badly are the ones that are really easy to not make right, even though they only have two ingredients.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't know how that happens, but yeah.
Oh no,
It's like
you and I have.
it's like reverse magic from the Long Island iced tea. It's the reverse version of that.
You're not wrong.
Black magic, dark magic.
Tequila Sunrise is I like better as an orange juice cocktail. I like I like that there's a little cute show with it. I know it's a gimmick, whatever. I like a gimmick with my drink. So soon.
Yeah, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I think it's got a good flavor. I like the way the tequila pairs with the orange juice much better than the vodka.
Here's what I have to say. Just another tequila sunrise. Staring slowly across the sky. Yeah, is one of the Eagles' best tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I like it far better than the Screwdriver. The orange juice works better in it. I'm not sure what exactly makes the difference. What's in a tequila sunrise? It's
Tequila.
what is it? Tequila, obviously, orange juice and grenadine. Is there a fourth ingredient? Is it just those?
Those for the basic tequila sunrise would be those three. You can always zhuzh it up, of course, though.
Yeah. I think maybe the little splash of grenadine that they throw in there. I think maybe that helps to offset some of the acidity of the orange juice for me.
Yeah.
I like a tequila sunrise far better than a Screwdriver.
Yeah, it's same.
That just kind of elevates it.
C or B? I'm.
B is I would put it as B.
Okay.
It's that much of a difference. At least to me, it's that much of a difference to make it two shelves higher.
Okay, I'm gonna be blunt right on this. Gin and tonic has become my favorite drink as I got older. Somehow, I don't know how. I never used to drink gin even at all, and now I'm drinking gin and tonics. Gin and tonic with a slice of lime. That's my shit. I can't explain it. I also really enjoy aviation. I tried it on a whim. They had samples of it at the liquor store one day, and I tried it on a whim, and I was like, "Oh, no wonder Ryan Reynolds is peddling this stuff."
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, how are we on time? Do I have time to share a brief personal story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so gin and tonics kind of make up one of my core life memories here. Let me explain this. In 2007, me and my friend Bernie had gone to Burning Man, as we did all the time at that time period. And, well, there was a giant storm and all our shit blew away and got broken. And so we left the event like 2 days early. We have never done that before or since. And went to go hang out with a friend of ours in Carson City named John Springmeyer. Rest in peace. He is no longer with us. He is missed dearly. But he was an older fellow, and he was he was in politics and all this stuff, and knew all these people and all this crap. And so he was like, "Oh, let's go out on the lake." I was like, "Okay, whatever. Let's just go. This year's a bust anyway. Who cares?" So we don't go out on the lake. We go out on Lake friggin' Tahoe. And he says, "Well, my friend's got a boat." Okay, and we can use it. Okay, great. We get out there, and it is a $250,000 yacht called the Satin Doll. Yeah, it's the Satin Doll. It had high-def TVs before I had a high-def TV and even had seen one, I think. And we brought enough supplies to drink gin and tonics the entire day. So we drank gin and tonics all day long. I don't think we ate anything. We were absolutely hammered,
Oh, I believe
floating
it.
around. on Lake Tahoe in this crazy ass expensive yacht with like radar and stuff. And I became the deckhand since I was the youngest of the group. I was like running around tying stuff off, trying to do all this crap. And oh man, it was a fantastic time and absolutely made up for the Burning Man failure. And I will never forget it. And I will never forget John. And every time I drink a gin and tonic now, I think of Mr. John Springmeyer in Carson City. Rest in peace, buddy. Also, F cancer. I don't know how R-rated we were on the stream, but
oh,
yeah.
you can say it.
Okay, then fuck cancer.
Yes.
There we go.
Fuck cancer. Anyway, I love gin and tonics.
Yes, me too. Me too. Put that as friggin' S tier all the way.
Yeah.
That and also it's a good go-to drink because that is a hard one to mess up. You really can't, like, even if you have a bartender that, you know, sucked up 3 lines of meth on the toilet seat and tries to make drinks, he's not going to mess up your gin and tonic. It's okay. You can order that. It's safe.
Now, I will add on, if you're making yourself a gin and tonic at home, do yourself a favor, spend a little extra money to get like the Fever Tree tonic water, or Fever Tree's the one brand. I forget. There's another brand that does it good though. But don't get the generic store brand stuff that is chock full of so much sugar it's ridiculous. You're gonna regret it.
Oh, it ruins the drink. It ruins the drink. Yeah. There's a brand I've had pretty decent success with it. It's Gosling's.
Yes.
With Gosling, yeah, you can mix in. I've found with Goslings, you can mix in, well, with the Fever Tree as well. I shouldn't be saying just for Goslings, but you can mix in other brands of gin, not just like an Aviation or something. It can take with the spicier ginger beer or whatever. You can take a heavier juniper flavor in your gin, and it still works out okay. So. Yeah, you can't mess up a gin and tonic. If you want something to drink, it's a great summertime drink. It's very refreshing. Yeah, go for it. You won't mess up.
Yeah.
You're good.
All right.
S tier, all the way.
Tom Collins, which is essentially a gin lemonade almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gin goes with lemonade very well. Gin and lemon go together very well.
It does. I think the sweetness of the lemonade kind of counteracts some of the bitterness you might get with the gin. I think is how it works. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's correct or not, but
yeah. I mean, it's solid. I don't go to it like I do with the gin and tonic, but it's a solid drink. My mind says to put it in B just because it's like it's solid, but it's also not a go-to.
yeah, exactly. I would absolutely agree with a B. And that's another one that it's not as fail-safe as the gin and tonic, but it is something that you can order, and like every bartender is going to know how to make that. And you know, generally the ingredients are going to be okay. Even with like well alcohol, it's still, you know, it's still acceptable. It's not going to make you, you know, run away screaming or something.
Oh my! Much like the daiquiri earlier we discussed. It's margarita time.
Yes.
Oh, hello. Oh, we're getting more hellos in the chat.
Hey, what's up, people?
Margarita. So, I like a margarita. I do like a margarita. I do think as I've gotten older, I am tending more towards margaritas on the rocks than the frozen ones. I will say that.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the frozen ones. I've always liked them on rocks.
There's something weird about getting drunk and brain freeze at the same time.
Well, my whole thing is the salted rim just works much better with a liquid drink rather than something you either have to drink through a straw or slurp up or whatever. And that's the reason I really love the interplay between the salt and the sweetness of the drink, and then you end up with like sort of the peppercorn taste of whatever tequila is in it. So yeah, margarita. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say margarita S tier. I love margaritas, and there's a whole family of them. You can have any kind of margarita you want, and it's the same basic recipe, just with a little different syrup in it or whatever. And I've never had. I don't think. No,
You're
knock
not
on
wrong.
wood. I've never had a bad margarita.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. It is a really good drink.
You seem a little less enthused. Are you thinking A tier on that one instead?
I'm debating. I'm looking. I'm looking and thinking. No, because you were right. You're 100% right about all that. And I think the only reason I would bring it down is memories of just all of those old frozen daiquiri or frozen margaritas and stuff from when I was younger that I don't even really drink anymore. And
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
really going for what the margarita is at its core, yes, it does belong there. Okay.
You know, if I wish you had two categories like rocks margarita and frozen margarita,
For
because
real. Oh my god, we would.
rocks margarita is S tier, but frozen margarita, I'm
Yeah.
thinking
All
like a
right.
C.
So, just everybody, this is on the rocks.
This is the rocks margarita, yes, absolutely.
Martini. This is another one where having a martini is just one category, like as just one drink, is almost insane.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's basically alcohol with a spritz of flavoring is what you got there.
because because if because even if you say we want to go and that we want a martini, like a classic basic martini, well, you doing vodka or gin,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly.
Like, if we're talking, but let's try and go for that. um Martini. I mean, I like a martini.
Yeah, yeah. Martini is tough because if there was ever a drink that is absolutely 100% ingredient dependent, it's a martini.
It,
You
it
cannot
really
make them.
is.
You can't make them with cheap booze. You've got to get halfway decent stuff to even make something drinkable to begin with. And to make a good martini, you have to have good, like actual good ingredients for it at that base level. Um, it's a very strong drink, which is a bonus for me at least. Because I mean, I know what I'm getting into when I order specific things. A martini is something I would order kind of mid evening, like my last drink before I start switching to soda or water or whatever. Um, it's sort of an evening closer, when you're thinking about getting your coat, that sort of a thing. As far as just like drinking only martinis in a session, I would that's going to be harsh because it's booze in a glass and
It's
that's
like,
pretty much the drink.
as much as I've tried to, I can't be James Bond. You know?
Technically, did you know that if I am remembering this correctly, I'll have to Google this to make sure, but technically he's not ordering martinis, he's ordering Vespers when he says shaken
There's
not stirred.
something about that, and
There's
but I
something about
also
that, yeah.
know the reason he orders it that way is so the ice mixes in with it more, so it gets a little more hydration, so he can stay more apt as a spy and isn't as down by the booze. That's apparently the
Yeah.
whole reasoning. So
Well, if he's concerned about being dumbed down by the booze, he should probably switch drinks.
yeah. So I don't know.
It is
I
probably the
love
most out of all these, maybe the Long Island, the martini is probably going to be the most alcohol forward out of like all of these.
I love and respect the art form of the martini. I just don't drink that many of them.
Mhm.
So does that put
Yeah,
it at the
it's
top
rare
of
that
B,
I've
I
ordered
think?
them. I'd put it top of B. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and maybe I don't know, maybe an A, just due to the variance involved. I don't know, but we'll leave it at top of B. We're fine
Okay.
with that.
Sounds good. All right. Cape Cod. This I know you said it's basically just a vodka
Yeah.
cranberry.
Yeah, I have thoughts on this. So you're drinking like alcohol. You're drinking a diuretic. Let's add another diuretic on top of that and call it a drink. you know, there's physical structure problems that I have with the Cape Cod. Cranberry is very much an acquired taste. Also, you have to if you're ordering a Cape Cod, you really have to like cranberry because that is the flavor profile of the drink. Period. Not my favorite. I like it far less than the Bay Breeze. The Bay Breeze, I will order a Bay Breeze over a Cape Cod at any point in time. Uh, I I would say a C on that one, but that's me. Plus, it starts with C, so there you go. It was
I'm
fate.
okay with that. I mean, it is a pretty basic drink. Let's face it. It's really
Yeah.
okay. Honestly, that went pretty well.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't see any standout issues with
Yeah.
any of these. Let's see. I'm going back over it again here. No, the S tier. Okay. So let's go over it real quick. The S tier, we've got old fashioned, Long Island iced tea, gin and tonic, margarita, all classic drinks. All we've all had one of these at one point or another. And if they're made well, you just can't beat any of those.
You know what? I'm looking at this, and I'm already going to do the thing you mentioned earlier I probably would do. I moved Bay Breeze down with Cape Cod.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I would put Bay Breeze above Cape Cod, just like you did there, because what's the extra ingredient? It's pineapple, right? In Bay Breeze.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a fan of pineapple, so that elevates Bay Breeze a little bit for me. But I am totally cool with that being a C because once again, the cranberry just has such a strange flavor profile. It makes me think of urinary tract infections, and I don't want that when I'm drinking. So.
I see in the chat Shinobu asking where the Rose Tyler would fall. That would be hard to get out of S for me. That might be the best drink that you've made.
That was so for the uninitiated. The Rose Tyler is a drink based on the Doctor Who character, of course. We served it at a friend's wedding, and I was so happy about this and so proud to have done this. I showed them how to make their own sweet and sour mix, which I still make to this day, and it is light years, leaps and bounds better than the nuclear green stuff that you buy in the plastic bottles at the store.
100%.
And takes very little effort to do, and whatever drink you mix that into is going to taste better. Let me see if I can remember the recipe right off the bat. It was it's nothing but
Lemons,
it's lemon, it's lemon, lime, simple syrup, and water. That's all that's in it. I got to remember the proportions. I can't remember it. I've got it written down someplace, but just look up sour mix recipes and you'll probably find something similar to it. But it's just those 4 ingredients. It's really simple to make. It takes like, depending on how organized your kitchen is, it takes like 5 minutes. So it's not a big deal to make it, but it absolutely elevates every drink that you put it in. And the Rose Tyler is unique in that it has a very specialized ingredient that you generally have to order in, which is rose water. It does not use a lot of that, but it adds a rose fragrance to it when you drink the drink, and it just makes the whole thing just like it feels like a special thing,
Just a few drops of it in there,
exactly.
Just really adds something. There's just this little hint of something throughout the whole drink that you're just like, huh. But it's good. Like it's like something you can't quite place your finger on, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, taste is so commingled with our sense of smell. When you pick up it just gives it a little hint of a rose petal smell, and that mixes just so well with the drink itself. It's very good. It's very good. Oh, somebody posted something. What's this?
Oh.
Oh, it's the recipe. Hey. Sweet. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's got the same stuff in it. It doesn't have the water for the sweet and sour that I made, but that's fine. This is absolutely fine right here.
I will. At one point at my old job, they had rose water at one point that they put on clearance. And I found it one day. It was like $2 for a bottle, and I was like, what? Okay, and I grabbed it. I was like, I never know when I'm gonna want this.
That's something I need to make for a stream. I need to make some Rose Tylers. That would be great.
That's a good one.
Oh man. If I ever do a sci-fi kind of a game, I'll bust that out as a reference to Doctor Who.
But overall, I think this was a solid, at least first run at cocktails. There's so many more. If maybe what I'll do is sit down and actually look at what was on this list and program in a list of other, cocktails that we didn't touch today.
Yeah. If you really wanted to get frisky with it, you could do a tiki drink tier list.
Oh, yeah.
Because just that one category would fill up an entire. There's more
I'm
than
sure.
we have on screen right now. There's a ton of those.
Okay. Bloody Mary. I default on this because I defaulted on that one because I don't drink that much tomato juice, but I gotta give it props for what it can do. I can word good today. Words good are high.
I gotta give it props and crap, yo.
All right.
Oh, what's this? We've changed.
All right.
I'm gonna need another drink.
This is the video game console tier list. Now,
Shifting gears.
this I picked this one because there were a lot of older consoles here. Because I was explaining to Brett that my original intent was to try to do video game consoles before 2000. But I could not find a list quite like that. But this one's got a lot. And I figure
You're hitting all the high points for sure.
exactly. So I figure if there's any we don't recognize, we'll just put them to the side. And if there's any that if we get to a point where we're like, yeah, I think we got through all the ones in the 2000, everything else is just newer, and we're at a good stopping point, we can stop at any point, you know?
Yep.
So this is going to be a lot of personal experience on this one, obviously. Some of these, each of us, one of us might have had, none of us might have had, both of us might have had. Who knows? We'll find out.
We'll find out after the break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Right back.
One of the other ones that we didn't do for this one because I need to narrow it down is doing a Sat AM cartoons tier list.
Oh, that would be cool.
Now, one thing I have thought about doing is doing a tier list of not the individual cartoons, but of like Nicktoons versus ABC Saturday Morning versus Fox Kids versus etc. You know?
Oh, geez, yeah.
I just have to figure out all the details. And apparently fix my Rayquaza that wanted to fall off my monitor. Okay.
So I won't ask this question now, but keep this in your back pocket for future. Your thoughts on the Masters of the Universe movie?
I'm seeing it.
You don't have to answer now because it's a whole tangent. Oh, I'm seeing it too.
I'm seeing it on Tuesday.
I'm camping out to get the damn sword.
Okay. Whew. All right, we'll start.
Yeah. Anyway, shifting gears back
Yes.
to where we need to be.
We'll start from the get-go. We're gonna have several.
From the thumbnail, is that a Fairchild
I think.
or is that a Valley?
Hang on.
It's. I think it's either a Fairchild or a Bally. I'm not sure which. With those controllers, I think it might be a Fairchild. I'm not sure. Does it say? Do you see channel F on it anywhere? Let me get a picture of that. Hold on, because I've never actually seen one in the wild.
I'm actually pulling. It is a Fairchild.
Okay, good. All right.
It's when you Google Fairchild, that's the image that comes up.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the Fairchild Channel F, that's what this is. This was the first. It wasn't the first video game console. Companies had made what's the word? Game specific consoles, like they would have a hockey console or a tennis console or something like that. They didn't take cartridges. The Fairchild was the first game system to take cartridges. And fun fact, I cannot remember the gentleman's name, but it was invented by an African American. And I cannot remember the guy's name, unfortunately. He's, of course, not with us anymore, but he's the one that came up with it and absolutely changed the course of video game history, even though the system itself was not fantastic, in my opinion. But even for the time, it wasn't quite groundbreaking, except for the cartridges that it took.
So where would we rank that?
I would put it. Okay. So The games itself would be like an F,
Right.
but I would put it as a C because of what it accomplished.
What it accomplished. See, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I was thinking with a lot of these older ones, is like kind of looking at what we got from it.
Yeah, yeah. If I remember correctly, this one, when you bought the games, they came with, if I'm remembering this right, this may be a different console, but I think it was this one. They would come with plastic overlay sheets that you would actually stick on your TV set to show barriers and stuff like that because the console couldn't produce it. This may be a different system. I may be misremembering this because, again, I've never actually seen one, but I think it might have been this one. But yeah, the games did not have a lot of replay value. They were extremely simplistic, which that's fine for the time, but the big contribution of this system was the cartridge format.
Mm-hmm. And then this is 2600, I think.
Yep, and I will die on the hill of putting that S tier.
Yeah, honestly though, I think it deserves it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've played. Here's the thing, like, because while I was still pretty young when this, well, actually, I was. Did I play 20? I'm pretty certain it was still a 2600 that I played, or was it a 5200? I'm not sure which one it
Of
was.
his 5200, you remember the controllers? They were something else.
No, but I remember using that joystick. Oh boy, do I remember using that joystick.
Yep, exactly. The 2600 has gone mostly out of popularity over the last 40 years, 50 years, maybe, I don't know, but has recently come back in style, oddly enough, through efforts of Atari, who is kind of having a moment right now. It's an interesting thing to see. They're selling new hardware. I have the Pac-Man edition of the 2600 Plus, and they're using emulation. You actually plug in physical Atari cartridges that you get from resale shops or game stores or whatever. You actually plug in cartridges, like real Atari cartridges, to it, and it copies them and emulates them in RAM, essentially. And it's a very, very close experience to playing them the way they were back in the day. The 2600 was a trailblazer in so many ways, not just with the number of games that came out, but the increasing quality of games as time went on and people learned how to program it. In fact, actually, just to kind of go backwards on that, one of the launch titles was Adventure. And that absolutely blew my mind the first time I played it, because it had like maps and all these different screens that you went into. It wasn't just, invaders falling from the top of the screen. It was like this whole world that you could move around in. And yeah, everything was dots and pixels and blah, blah, blah. But the abstract art that they came up with for the game graphics served it very well at the time, and made it into just a very enjoyable playing experience. Plus, it had the first Easter egg, so that was nice. But yeah, Atari had so many different games, such a breadth of things, and even towards the end of its life, they made that console for like 25 years, I think, some insane amount of time.
They did make it for a crazy long time.
Yeah, hell of a long time, and people kept inventing new things for it. And if it had stuck around a little bit longer, Pitfall 2 in particular had a chip in it. The game had its own chip that was a sound chip somehow that actually had background music soundtrack and checkpoints in an Atari 2600 game, which was the most advanced thing I think that came out for the console ever. So yeah, S tier for the 2600 for me, for sure.
Get that a little bit bigger here. Because I think the next couple are ones I never had.
The very next one is the Odyssey 2, which I have one of those sitting in a box behind me as we speak right now.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yep, don't have it hooked up. I don't have a good way to hook it up, and so I just haven't messed with it. But the Odyssey 2 was from Magnavox. They came out back in the day as a competitor to Atari. They did the same kind of situation where they had cartridge-based games. Some of them were pretty good. It had a keyboard on it, which was unique for game consoles at the time. Nobody else had that at the time, even in television, which had advertised a keyboard, which came out in very small quantities, finally, after a very long wait. But the Odyssey 2 came with a keyboard built right into it, and it was really cool because, Shinobu can speak to this. Shinobu actually has a copy of this someplace in their stuff. What was it? What was the thing called? It was like Return of the King or something like that. It was an RPG that had a playmat that you put over the keyboard, and depending on the actions in the game, you would press different keys on the playmat to make different things happen in the game. It was just such a cool. It was like a cross between a board game and a video game, and I've always been so fascinated by that. So it was a little bit ahead of its time, but their biggest hit was KC Munchkin, which was a blatant copy of Pac-Man, and I think they eventually got C&D'd on that and stopped selling that game. But I think I have a copy of it here somewhere.
Looks
But,
like it was the Quest for the Rings, by the way.
Quest for the Rings. That's it. That's the one. Yes, and it had like game pieces and like coins and the whole 9 yards. It was really cool.
Couldn't Quest for the Rings be another title for Sonic?
Yes, it could. It worked pretty well. I would put it expanded it took the 2600s framework and expanded on the idea of what games could be, but was not itself a huge success. I don't know. I would probably put it at a B. Do you have any experience with it? Have you ever?
No, none personally. Like, there's this weird, like, little thing where as soon as NES happened, like, everything else went out the window. You know, like, I didn't care about anything else as a kid. So,
That's
like,
true for a lot of people, I think.
yeah. And, like, I was born in the early 80s, so I had that last wave of that, like, late 70s into early 80s. That was that last wave of the pre-Nintendo days.
Yeah.
Where everything was in an interesting, like, people need to understand, like, the video game industry changed completely once we got Nintendo and then Sega in the market. Like,
oh yeah, it was an absolute sea change at that point.
It just, everything was different, and at the time there were so many different companies trying to lay their stake to it, and then companies started seeing, okay, we got to back out. The last two companies that decided, hey, we want to make waves into this were, well, Sony and Microsoft. So,
Yep.
well, I shouldn't. No, wait.
Along the spoils.
I lie. Amazon tried, and it did not work well.
It didn't go, as they say. So,
yes.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask about this next little guy here.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've seen that before. I think it's got a little LCD screen on it or something, but I don't know what it is. It's like, is it blockout or something with blocks or something?
Shrugs.
Stuff we don't know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh wait, I accidentally. Okay.
That's fine. It's okay. Oh, well, maybe not that.
Shrugs.
And they make that the
D tier.
Shrugs. Shrugs means we have no idea.
Exactly.
I don't really. It's obviously a handheld game. Probably Milton Bradley would be my guess. I'm thinking it was probably this game called Lockout or something, but I don't remember. I'm thinking Merlin, but Merlin was red and had a different shape. So I'm not 100% on that one.
That can't be right. No, that's not it. Okay. I thought it said Block Center on it looking in, but I don't think so. Okay.
I'm going to do a quick Google myself to see if I can figure out what the heck that is.
Yeah, I am a little curious, I'm not going to lie. Okay. Microvision? Is that what I'm hearing? Microvision?
For the
AKA Milton Bradley Microvision, first handheld game console that used cartridges.
Okay, so it was like a Game Boy before Game Boy.
Okay. Cool.
Nice. I knew it was Milton Bradley, but I couldn't think of what it was.
Huh.
I didn't have one.
I mean, props to it for advancing using cartridges and handhelds.
Yep.
Can't really speak to it beyond that. I'm not sure these two here.
The one on the left is the Intellivision. The one on the right.
Oh, that's the Intellivision? Okay.
I think so. Yeah. It looks like.
Oh no, you're right. It is the It's 100% the Intellivision. It's the way the controllers were on it. It messed me up. I got it. Okay, that is
Yeah, no,
Intellivision.
exactly. They're in the wrong spot. They're like sitting up instead of lying down in the slots. So yeah, that's an Intellivision. Intellivision, I would call Intellivision an A tier because they were the first big competitors to Atari, and they had some actually really interesting games. The Intellivision was the quote unquote better console. I will admit that gladly, but they just didn't have the game licenses that Atari did. So they kind of ended up a sad sort of a second place finisher there. But I mean, they introduced a speech or a speech what is speech synthesizer. Try saying speech synthesizer real fast. It had one of those, and I think that might have been the first speech unit for a home console, but had a bunch of good games. Their advertising campaigns always irritated me when I was a kid, but I give them a pass on that. Their baseball and sports games were really great. I wasn't into sports, so I was never really a big fan of Intellivision, but you can get a lot of their games on emulation now, and some of them are still pretty good. So yeah, I'd go A tier on that.
All right. Wait.
And this next one I recognize, but I don't know what it is. It
Yeah,
looks like an
same.
Intellivision, but it's not.
It totally...
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Is that? It's not an RCA, surely. Hang on a second.
Research.
I'm doing some Googling here to see what the heck this is.
I know we're coming up on ones I actually recognize here.
Yeah. Oh, I was also going to throw in on the Intellivision. I do not have the original hardware on that one because, like I said, I never had one. But I do have the Intellivision Sprint, the new one that they came out with a few years ago.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
I went ahead and ordered it, but I was really disappointed to find out that it did not have cartridge slots. I was like, that's kind of the whole point of this new wave of these retro consoles that are coming out, is to be able to plug the original games in and play them. It does have an SD card slot, which is what made me go ahead and ordered it, though. So
interesting.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what that Can you zoom in a little bit on that the next one?
Oops.
Somehow.
Maybe. I know that. I know that.
What the heck?
That it says JC Penney on it. What the heck?
Wait, it says JCPenney? Okay, that may be like a one of the Tandyvision clones, possibly.
That would make sense.
Because Radio Shack made their own version of this. Well, no, the Tandyvision looks just like a regular. It's a rebadge. I don't know what that one is. I have seen that one before, but I don't know what that's supposed to be.
It can go into the shrugs.
It's obviously some flavor of an Intellivision, but put it in shrugs. Yeah,
that works.
Now the next one I know very well.
Yes.
The Atari 5200.
5200.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I already know that's going there.
Yeah, what a blown opportunity. I wouldn't say S tier on that. I would argue A tier just because while it was leaps and bounds better than the 2600, it was essentially an Atari 400/800 in a video game cladding without the keyboard. It used the Pokey chip for audio, which was really nice. Had good quality audio on it. Leaps and bounds better than 2600, but the controllers absolutely killed it. The design was just so bizarre on it. It did not do well. They made exactly 69 games for it. Nice. And that's where it stopped. And I'm still looking for one. I eventually want to have another 5200 because they're not going to release that as a mini like they have with the 7800 and the 2600 and all the other consoles.
Right.
It's not going to come out as a mini.
There's no way.
Yeah, you're stuck with original hardware or PC emulation. So it's it's a sad story. They really didn't handle it right. There's all kinds of power struggles in the background that made it the way that it was. The engineers were originally directed that they absolutely must not make it compatible with 2600 cartridges because they wanted to continue selling the 2600. That decision came from management. So they designed it so that it was impossible to play 2600 games on it. And then about 3 months before release, they said, "Oh my God, we've made a mistake. You need to make it compatible with 2600." And they're like, "We're already manufacturing it." So they basically came out with an adapter for the 5200 that played 2600 games, Because it was a 2600. It was a 2600 in a shell that plugged into the 5200 and just used the video channels. It was the dumbest thing ever. Oh, I could go on for hours. Anyway, leave it as A tier is the best we're going to get on that one.
All right.
Killed by management.
What? Let me maneuver my things here, see what's next. So many of these had these, like, just looking at the original controllers from back in the day of, like, how many had these, like, little dial pads and things that are just, like, completely different than what we can think of as controllers nowadays, you know?
Yep. Totally different. Nobody knew what a controller was really supposed to look like at that time.
Yeah. And it's funny to me because I remember when Wii came out and I was all like, how the hell are we supposed to play with something like this, when that was how all console controllers used to look, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right.
So next up is the good old-fashioned, well, I shouldn't say good old-fashioned. that demeans it. That's the ColecoVision.
Yep.
You know what? I would say, just to go back for a second, I would say put the 5200 as a B. I think it was a better console even than the ColecoVision, but the way it was handled, manufactured, marketed, the whole 9 yards was an absolute disaster. So that really knocks it down. But ColecoVision was far more successful.
It was.
I would rank it as an A, and the first thing they did that was absolutely correct. With the 5200, the pack-in title was Breakout, which is okay. You know, it was a fun game at the time, you know, whatever. It did not show off the graphical capabilities of the system whatsoever. Coleco bundled friggin' Donkey Kong, and it was the most accurate arcade port in existence at the time. And that drove sales through the roof. I think it was maybe not quite a desperation play on their side, but they had obtained the license for Donkey Kong and decided to just go ahead and do it to boost sales of the console, and boy, did it succeed. It was a very successful unit for a while there, until the Atom.
Wait, I did not realize, because I knew a bunch of these were going to come up, so I did, so I have, Wikipedia pages and shit up here for a bunch of old consoles, just in case I wanted to bring up talking points.
Yeah.
I did not realize that the company that made ColecoVision was the same company that made Cabbage Patch dolls. I didn't realize that before. Wow. This makes so much more sense to me now, considering how everything went down at the end there. Everything makes more sense to me. Wow.
You want me to really melt your brain on that one?
Oh, gosh.
You know what Coleco stands for?
What?
Connecticut Leather Company. They started out making leather products and pivoted to toys.
I mean, leather toys are a
I wasn't sure if you were going to go there, but boy, I'm glad you did.
I'm a sweetheart.
This is now an 18+ stream. But no, the ColecoVision was a great system. The weird, it was kind of a modified Joy-Disc. They called it the Joy-Disc controller. And it was way better than the Intellivision flat disc controller. In fact, that Shrug system down there has sticks coming out of the you call it, the circular pad things, and they made attachments that would stick onto the Intellivision discs to turn them into joysticks, basically, and they worked way better when you did that. But the ColecoVision kind of had that built in already. It was basically like a wide joystick is all that was, and it was totally fine. You had two buttons on either side. They were not addressable. They both did the same thing all the time because of how they were wired. But the keypad did give additional options during play. There was one game I had called War Room in particular, where you were managing resources in a nuclear-attacked United States to try and keep the country running as long as you could.
Oh,
and
that sounds like something that would be really popular today, honestly. Like that.
Oh,
well,
it was an awesome
although
game.
I don't know, post-pandemic, people are going to be a little more sensitive to that. But
yeah, it's basically resource management. You would mine ore in one city and transport it to another city where they'd make stuff out of it, and that kind of thing. And you had food and corn, you had corn and beef, and I forget what else, but You had to keep everybody fed. There were hunger problems that could come up. It was a very advanced game, especially for the time. It was extremely advanced, and I loved that. I played it for days and days and days of my life. I loved that thing. You always lost. It was just like there was no end condition in nearly all of these games that from this time period. You just played until it got too difficult and you just lost. But I got pretty dang far with War Room. I loved that thing.
Nice.
Now, I did not have a ColecoVision. A couple of minutes ago, I said the ColecoVision did very well until the Atom. The Atom was a personal computer based on the ColecoVision. And somehow, I'm still not sure how my parents afforded this, but somehow I ended up with one of these. And it was the weirdest damn thing you ever saw in your life. It was a ColecoVision with a printer on it and a keyboard. And the things that I remember most about it was the manual that came with it was a wire-bound manual that you could, lay flat or whatever, which was very nice. But like 2/3 of the pages had stickers on them where they had replaced out entire blocks of text. Like they'd printed the books and it was cheaper to pay somebody to put stickers on the books rather than reprint the books because things changed in production. I don't know what the deal was. That was very bizarre and confusing. And the printer had to be connected because that's how your power came through the system. Your printer had the power cable. And so you had to turn on the printer, which turned on the entire system. And when you did that, it had a very well-known, very well-documented problem where it would send a wall of electricity through the unit, basically like a mini EMP. And if you had a cassette, because it used cassette drives, they had a cassette drive on the front of it. If you used cassettes, you could not leave the cassette in the unit when you powered it on or it would erase the cassette.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was bad.
Talk about care
that was
needing to be
bad
had.
news. Oh, no kidding. But and the printer was a daisy wheel, and if you've ever heard one of those, it sounds like a freaking machine gun. Whenever I wanted to print anything, of course, no graphics. It was like basically like a glorified electric typewriter. I would cover mine with a pillow to keep from waking people up. It was that loud. It was unbelievably loud. And I still have this thing in storage. At some point, I am going to pull it out and hook it up and do a stream on it or something.
Sometimes, there are things that I hate to be that guy that goes, kids nowadays will never know, blah, 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 blah. But, like, there's sounds that are distinct in my memory that some people will never know. And one of them are, like, all of the old printers in our school that would be constantly going off while we were having class, and it would be so annoying.
Were they the dot matrix ones?
Oh, you know it. You know it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are fun. This was constantly. Yeah, it was bad. Better. But it was cool because I found something out. You could invent your own code because it was a daisy wheel printer, and the printer was like it was a circular print head that had the letters etched in these little fingers that extended out from the center, and you could mount it on the assembly and move it by a couple of notches manually after you turned the unit on, and it wouldn't know that. And so it would just print wherever it thought the letters were, but they would actually be off by a couple, so you kind of make your own code. I did that a few times just for fun.
Nice. All right, what do we got here next? We've got this funky little... actually, I don't remember this.
I don't either. I don't know that that's a system. I think that may be like a
individually. Yeah.
Can you zoom in on it to see the marquee at the top?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Adventure Vision? That doesn't ring a bell to me.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. Let me... Adventure Vision. To the interwebs.
Yep. Oh, just to very, very quickly close off the ColecoVision thing, the Atom is what ended up bankrupting the company. And yeah, there were many, 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 many returns for many problems with the units.
A cartridge-based video game console released by NTEX Industries in either August or October of 1982. NTEX.
Okay, yeah, I do kind of know what this is. I've never seen it.
Second generation system following the selected game released a year earlier.
Yeah, leave that as a shrug because I've never seen one, never played one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing with this. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
What, the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that one very
What
well.
is that?
That is an epic console. First off, that's going to be A tier. That is a Vectrex.
Okay.
I forget what was the company that made it. Oh, it was like it was a Milton Bradley, maybe. It was like a toy company. That was the currently to this point in time. That was the only video game system that I am aware of, or at least a home video game system, that used vector graphics instead of raster graphics on a television.
Oh.
So it was actual legitimate arcade quality graphics on the little TV in front of you. Um, God, where to start with this thing? You can buy them new in the box, or not new in the box, but complete in box now for $800, I think, to $1,000, something like that. It's on my bucket list. I would love to have one of these. They made a 3D attachment for it that you could wear on your head that plugged into an accessory port on the side of the unit, and you would have actual 3D graphics, vector graphics. Just as an explanation of that, Star Wars the arcade game, the one you would sit down in. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, that's that. That's the Vectrex. It was black and white, but it was okay because it had the vector graphics and it was absolute arcade smoothness. Just a hell of a console. It was so expensive when it came out that very few people bought them because of the price. But those that did were rewarded with genuine, legit arcade quality graphics. They had a number of production problems with them that have been taken care of in modern times. You have to get an audio kit for it to get rid of it makes this buzzing noise because of the CRT being too close to the audio board, various things like that are fixes for it. All of the games came with a color cellophane screen that slapped over the black and white screen that would provide color to parts of the image, so it made it a little more interesting and immersive. But yeah, just absolutely a hell of a console. And to wrap up on this, I think it was last year, a company started making a mini Vectrex.
Oh, really? I did not know about that.
They did, yeah, and they claim to have had very good success in making a vector emulation on an LCD screen, because of course it's an LCD screen. They're not going to be able to source that many CRT monitors anymore.
Right.
They're just not being. You can't find them. They're not.
They're
being
not
made.
being made. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I don't think it was a huge success, but I think they did sell out of their initial run. I kind of wanted to get one, but it's a mini system and you do have to play it on the screen. So I was kind of iffy on it. But at some point in my life, mark my words, I will own a Vectrex and I will get the damn 3D attachment for it, because I mean, this was like we're talking early 80s for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing else was like it, and it's just sort of a magical box for me.
I think this might be in chronological order.
I think it is. Yeah, so far it is.
Yeah, because I'm looking here.
Because the channel app was like one of the very first entries. So
yeah, well that makes sense. I mean, this next one is kind of obvious.
Oh, what's that? I don't recognize that at all.
You can't.
That's a picture of the Mini, though.
I did buy a mini SNES, but not a mini NES. The mini SNES, yeah. Rose really wanted it, and I never had a SNES as a kid, so it was too tempting. Although now I can just play SNES games on my Switch, so go figure. But I mean, nothing like anything that I would have to say about the NES has already been said in so many ways. The NES was such a monumental console in our history that Netflix made a movie about it recently.
Yep. It was an absolute
not even a movie about the making of the Nintendo. No, a making of how much kids wanted it for Christmas.
Yep.
I still haven't seen that movie. I want to, but I still haven't, because I know Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and he's cool. I like him.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I also want to. I may make time for it like this week or something, because I keep forgetting about it. But yeah, no, I have the mini NES in my collection. I have the mini Famicom, which we'll get to at some point here, and I have a mini SNES also. The NES was just such a I cannot even describe the impact that it had. I worked at I was very, very lucky. I worked at a place that sold NESs, so I got stuff for relatively cheap. I got it for cost essentially, and just the games that they came out with for it were outstanding. It's all about the games. Um, it had the best graphics that you could get on a home console at the time, and they pitched it. They deliberately designed it to look more like an entertainment device than a video game system. That's why it kind of looks like a VCR, because the game crash had just happened in like 1983. So yeah, that may have contributed to its success. I don't know that it made that much of a difference. I'm kind of a contrarian in that regard. I think that people just wanted it for the games.
I mean,
and because the games were
they
outstanding.
did such a marketing campaign about bringing, and the bundle was the big thing. The bundling it with Mario and yeah, that was just such a big thing of like because like how many of us have memories of shooting at ducks and duck hunt and avoiding the dog or whatever.
That damn dog. Yep.
Yep. It's just it's burned in our hand.
S tier, no issues.
Yep. Next here are two Sega consoles. So we're going in order here. So the first one's the SG-1000. And because... let me put it this way. This is... It and the Famicom basically were out at the same time, and the Famicom just annihilated it.
Yep.
And a lot of people, like, it was Sega's first console. So it's important because of that fact, but basically only that fact alone. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put it down here in C of like, it was something.
Yeah.
It came out. It was good. It was a stepping stone. That stepping stone took us to the next one on here, which is the Mega Drive.
Right. And I know probably the least. This came during my first dry spell of video games when I didn't have like video game systems and stuff. I don't have any experience really with the SG-1000 or with the Master System. I didn't really have any experience with the Sega whatsoever until the Genesis came later on.
Well, that's the thing is you're not alone in that. The Master System and the SG-1000 were really, I mean, not just here, like, I mean, internationally, because, like, overseas, over in Japan, they were competing with Famicom. Here, they were competing with NES. And they saw that, and that's why they made such an aggressive marketing strategy for the Genesis to combat back against it. And we all know what that turned into. I mean, that was the 90s console wars. It became crazy. So
yep.
Make Master System only. This is the thing, is because I know both of these rankings are mainly because like this is leading up to Genesis. These can't get better because of what's coming after it,
Exactly. The culmination is yet to happen.
Yeah. It's great for the history. It's wonderful. They were solid systems for the time. They just never were able to compare in the market.
Right.
That being said,
and they also just very quickly, they didn't have the penetration that the other systems did, because I don't recall seeing these for sale anywhere I went as a kid.
Shinobu has a good point in the chat. Master System's still getting new models made. I heard of a game being made for it not that long ago, which is saying something. So, like Sega really was doing something when they were building consoles. I've always felt really bummed that they ended up having to get out of the game. And ironically, we'll talk about this when we get to Dreamcast, but I genuinely believe it's because they got too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, the Dreamcast was incredible, but yeah.
But for now, we get to go back to Atari.
Yes, we do, for the 7800. Yep. And I'm going to have a kind of a controversial take on this. I was pissed off at Atari pretty badly for a while, because for the 7800, they had improved the graphics to where they were kind of on a par with the Nintendo consoles, but they kept the same audio chip as the freaking 2600, why in the name of God and all that is holy they didn't use the Pokey chip from the 5200. It was a downgrade in audio. It was a downgrade. And so that definitely affected the sales. You know, me, obviously I'm a big audio guy. I complain about
Yeah.
my audio all the time and I fiddle with it constantly and and so having a console with a known lacking audio facility built into it, hard coded, that you couldn't do anything about was just a deal killer. So I had zero interest in the 7800. I was angry about it at the time. So yeah, I'm going to say C on that just because some of the games were pretty good. I want to say the 7800 was the first appearance of Ninja Golf.
Yeah, I just listening to what you're saying about that, I would have also been in a similar boat though. We're getting up to Genesis here. And
Yeah.
the thing about Genesis is Genesis is always where I start thinking about sound in video games. And Shinobu will know probably where I'm already going with this.
Oh yeah. Yep, I agree. We've had many discussions about it ourselves.
Yeah, I just the music in these games, like, first of all, I will be humming along to the like Sonic music and things like that from the 16-bit era to myself to the day I die. Like, you know, like,
As will we all, I think.
but it was right in the middle of them trying to find new ways to get better, and there being, let's face it, some controversies with that, and some music that we have trouble accessing nowadays because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes me go, yeah, I would have also been upset if they were messing with the audio, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it was a cost-cutting decision that was turned out. It turned out to be it wasn't just me apparently because the console did not sell well at all. So
This looks like a very compact image, but is that a Famicom disk system?
looks like it. Yeah,
That's what it looks like. Okay.
I would say yes. Yeah,
I mean, does that go to S? Because I think it does.
yeah, I would think it goes to S. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole Nintendo craze, we'll say, really started in Japan and then came here. And since it started in Japan, it started with the Famicom.
I gotta say too, I watch a decent amount of stuff from Did You Know Gaming, and they've covered some really interesting stuff that Nintendo did in Japan in the 80s and 90s as promotional stuff that we never got over here. And some of it's some crazy stuff where, like, you could go to like 7-Eleven and plug in your console or something like that. Like, it was crazy stuff they were doing with it. Like, which I got to give them props because, you know, going through all that trial and error, I think is kind of partially how we got to some of the stuff we have now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. There was a company. What was the name of it? I think it was Intex, maybe. I don't remember now, but they would sell blank cartridges, and you would go to kiosks and pay, $5 or whatever, and they would load another game onto your cartridge at the kiosk.
Yeah, I think that's the one console we looked at earlier. I think in the blurb that I had, it talked about them having another system that did that. And I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it was that Intex. So yeah. Is this?
But the just the last little note on that one, the test market for that took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I never saw one of the damn things. I keep reading about it now, and it's like, I was there then. Why the hell didn't I see one of these? I never did.
Oh, do you recognize this white one? I know I should, but I'm
zoom
not.
in a little bit.
Ah! Oops. Okay, it's
There you go.
PC something or another.
Is it PC Engine? Oh no, PC Engine comes later. Wait, hold on. Can you zoom in even a couple more steps?
That's all it's given me.
That's what you got. Okay. Man, I don't know.
If you're not getting it, and I'm not getting it from that close, though, I'm thinking we maybe put it in the shrugs.
Yeah, put it in shrugs. It's PC. I'm almost positive it's the original PC Engine, but I'm not sure. It's what became the TurboGrafx 16. If that's the right one.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, put it in shrugs for now, and maybe we'll research it or something. Let me just look up PC Engine. Hang on.
Oh,
Let's
that's
see.
why that's there like that. Okay, I was trying to figure out why some of these things were like the way they were on screen.
Yeah, because yep, PC Engine. I was right. Hey,
PC Engine, CD-ROM. Yep.
sweet. Yeah,
Genesis.
that was a fun system. Just a quick note on that PC Engine. I would probably put that one. I
Oh,
am
there's
somewhat
PC
familiar with
Engine.
it.
There's this PC Engine too.
Yeah, there's different versions of it.
Oh.
That's the original PC Engine, the one that's on the Shrugs list right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably put that at a C tier. It had credit card type cartridges for it, which they carried that forward through all of the TurboGrafx and other PC Engine entries. So that was a kind of a trailblazer in that regard.
Well, here, let's do this PC Engine one while we're already talking about it. The other one, PC Engine
Yeah. Okay.
CD-ROM, is what
Yeah.
Shinobu's saying.
Yep. Yeah, that was basically the CD version. I think, was this the one you could get with or without? Like it was an add-on? I don't remember, but yeah, it was the PC Engine CD.
Okay.
So kind of the same stuff as the other one, except they came on CDs, or you could get games on CDs instead of the PC Engine cards.
So
And so that brings us to this.
I was a Genesis kid.
Yep.
I
Do it.
I
Yep,
was a
just do it.
Genesis kid. I've so much like I never had an N64 or not an N64. I mean a Super Nintendo. You know, when given the choice, we went with Genesis. So I was playing lots of Sonic the Hedgehog, all like every Sonic that came out for it. I had like all the Mortal Kombat games I had for Genesis, which that was a thing at the time because remember Super Nintendo didn't have the blood.
Right.
And
Yep.
that was part of the console war at the time. Genesis Star Trek reference. Yeah, we're gonna go find Spock on the planet later. He lived anyway.
Nice.
There's a few other things. Like first of all, the graphics pushing us forward into 16-bit. Now this was then SNES came out and was actually a better console technically, like it's spec wise, but
Yeah.
any of us that were already in the Genesis weren't really looking at that,
Right.
And it was just like at that point I was like, I guess I'm a Sega kid.
Yeah.
And
That was not a bad kid to be at the time.
no,
so.
it was everything. We get into some handheld stuff coming in here though. For the first time.
Another Atari entry, Atari Lynx.
And we're starting with Lynx, aka
Yep.
me. No.
See, I never had. I didn't have a lot of the handheld type units. I never had a Lynx. So I am not like intimately familiar with it. I know that the Lynx had good specs on it, but it was very power hungry, if I'm recalling correctly.
They all were back then. Like any.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I had the original Game Boy with no, it didn't have color or anything like that, and that thing only lasted so long in the back of my mom's minivan.
Yeah, and it didn't even have a backlight. You had to purchase one of those separately. But
Don't get me
yeah,
started.
we'll get to that in a minute. But the Lynx was I'm trying to remember which came first, the Jaguar or the Lynx. But one of those two was kind of Atari's last gasp there for a while.
I know the Jaguar is coming on this list, so
Yeah. I think it might have been the Jaguar. I don't think it was the Lynx, but the Lynx was a neat system. I mean, it's one of those things that I wouldn't mind having, but I don't have the life experience with it, so it's not like a driving goal for me. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm iffy about it. It made its impact, but it didn't make enough of one. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with. I would take it out of Shrugs.
yeah, I was gonna say no. Yeah, you've given me enough info now.
Yeah, I would probably put it as a C.
That's
Unfortunately. It's probably physically a better, like specs wise, console than a C, but due to everything around it, I would still leave it as a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Boy.
I will not say that for the next one.
Yeah, Game Boy is tough because Game Boy was also revolutionary.
Yep.
Game Boy heralded in the age of the handheld console, which, let's face it, no matter what your feelings are on any of these companies, Nintendo had the handheld market like under its thumb from like 89 till a few years ago.
Yep, absolutely.
Nobody
Because
ever came close.
they understood the market.
Mm-hmm.
The market wanted fun games to play that didn't cost a lot, and the Game Boy absolutely fit that bracket. I had a Game Boy, that very same one, the original Game Boy. It is iconic. There's a freaking Lego set for it. I would go either S tier or A tier for that. I would probably
I'm gonna
I don't know.
go.
I would probably
I'm gonna go A tier.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm gonna go A tier is something we talked about a little bit ago. Is I could not play it in the dark in the back of my mom's van.
Yep, exactly. There was no backlight. Even I would go A tier because it was so influential and so groundbreaking and all these sorts of things. But even when it came out, the specs were lacking. Like it was not a flagship release by any means.
Do you remember?
But they hit their price point. That's what they did right.
And then they came out with a bunch of games that were like new games from their franchises, but they would all be not quite as good.
Yeah, yep.
Although they did
different versions for that.
of note, they remade Metroid 2: Return of Samus a few years ago, and it was really, really good as a remake. So, anyway.
Yeah, no, it was a great console. I spent many, many hours on it, despite its many issues and the lack of color and all these sorts of things. Still, they got the games right. They did the games right on it as best as they could do to hit the price point that they wanted to hit, and it became a huge, huge success.
And to be fair, they did address the issues in later versions. We got Game Boy Color, we got Game Boy Pocket, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Yep. This was the gateway drug.
Yep.
For Nintendo handhelds.
Are you familiar with this? Because I'm not.
I am. That is what was released in the U.S. with a different case as the TurboGrafx 16.
That's why I'm not recognizing it.
Yep, that is the. I want to say it's the PC Engine Express or something like that. It's another member of the PC Engine family. That, I think the one that we're looking at here is the Japanese and European version. The U.S. had a different version, and I actually had a TurboGrafx 16 at one point in my life until my house burned down. And
that would be a valid reason not to have it anymore.
That would be it was a valid reason, and it sucked because Keith Courage in Alpha Zones, the pack-in game, was like one of my all-time favorite games. I loved that thing. If I have the name right, see, I didn't look it up for a long time, and I think that's the right game. It was a JRPG essentially, but instead of fighting characters, like if you stumble, like you would wander around in a forest, but instead of fighting characters, you raced them in your car. It became a racing game. It was so weird and so enjoyable, and it was really well written, and all things considered, it actually kind of told a story, and the graphics were fantastic, and the controllers were basically Nintendo, basically NES clones on that. But fantastic graphics, great system. Did not have the cultural impact as some of the others, so I would probably, having owned one, I would rate it as a B.
Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't have the impact that it needed to have, and that was unfortunate because it was a good piece of hardware.
I don't think I had one of these either. This white server looking thing, or router looking thing.
Can you zoom in on that? That's not what the heck is that? It's not a Dreamcast.
And Straulau.
I don't recognize that.
I don't recognize it either. I'll put it in shrugs for now, and if anybody in the chat recognizes it,
please let us know. Yeah,
I know the one after it's Commodore 64.
Yeah.
That one I know. But yeah, if anybody in the chat knows, shout out. Otherwise, we can talk about Commodore.
Yep. So I would put this in like S or A tier, just because of the impact that it made. Plus, it had a full function keyboard on it. You could. I used to do the thing. Now I did not have a Commodore. I had a Trash 80. I had a TRS 80 Coco, and you could buy magazines that had pages of the magazine that were devoted to printouts of code for games, and you would sit there and methodically type in all this code for 4 or 5 pages, and then you would run it and it would be a game. Actually, no, you would run it and then you'd realize you forgot a semicolon or something, and then you'd have to go back and fix it. You get the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, the C64 had the net effect of getting a lot of people into personal computing where they would not, I think, have been otherwise. The games were sort of just a gateway into that whole world for a lot of people. I had a good friend that had one of these, and we played it quite a number of times, and he did his own programming on it and all these kinds of things. So it had an outsized impact for what it was. So I would put in an A. A is fair.
There's have you ever seen, is it, I want to say it's a terrible movie from the 90s called Time Chasers. They've done it on MST3K, and RiffTrax has done it too. And the guy is basically has like a Commodore, what looks like a Commodore 64 hooked up to his plane that makes it travel to the future. It's so janky and it's ridiculous.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah,
that sounds brilliant.
If you've not seen it, maybe we need to do a Riff Night some night, because the RiffTrax version is just
that would
as
be
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am 100% supportive of that.
I'm speaking of RiffTrax MST3K. Shout out to the folks over there who are making RiffTrax on MST3K this year. After a giant Kickstarter, I am very excited to see. I don't know if you saw any of that or not, but this year for the Kickstarter for RiffTrax, they're making new Mystery Science. I think 4 new Mystery Science Theater 3000 episodes starring Mike and Kevin and Bill.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I haven't kept up on it.
Yeah.
I missed a lot of stuff.
They're
like
working
that
on it
for whatever
now.
reason.
They're building a whole new Satellite of Love, and Kevin and Bill are going to be puppeteering Crow and Servo again. And they've been releasing videos on their YouTube channel. It's been great to follow. I'm very excited for when they release.
Do they still do like the live riff tracks, like the Fathom events things in theaters?
They're supposed to do a Fathom event this year for the first episode of this thing.
Oh my God! Please let me know.
I will let you know.
I want
because maybe you and Nova Rose could connect to travel down together and meet up with me for it, because
I would love to do that. I would be 100% for that.
Last year Nova Rose and I went. They did Time Cop.
God, that would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess we'll somewhat do the list. No, guess that's what people tuned in for, huh? Anyway,
we don't have any D tiers yet. We need some D tiers. Let's see what we got.
Honestly, do you want to be honest with you? You want a D tier? You want a D tier?
Let's do it.
Done.
Oh, goodness. Game Gear? That is a Game Gear, right?
That's a Game Gear. And this is just my personal opinion. Game Gear came out. Sega released Game Gear as their answer to Game Boy. And their whole shtick was, why play Game Boy when you could play Game Gear in color? Two things. The battery life was even worse than the Game Boy.
Yes, that's what I've always heard about Game Gear.
And the graphics on the games were terrible. They'd have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear, but it was an entirely different game than Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Genesis. It shared nothing in common, and the sounds were different, the controls were different. It was just crazy. And I never never owned one. I played my cousins, and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying one.
You were confused and frustrated through the experience, it sounds like.
Notice how Sega never came out with another one. They tried one time. It didn't work. They went back to regular consoles. They got ahead of themselves. They just started making games. Next one.
Well, it's good they were thinking on their feet.
Yes. The next one is going to be actually a really fun conversation, because you and I have talked about this recently. It's Neo Geo.
We have.
Yes.
It's the Neo Geo. Yes. Do you want to start this one, or you want me to?
Sure. So, Neo Geo, one of the biggest things I know about Neo Geo is how big the cartridges are and how giant the cases for the games. I'll always remember
They're
that.
the size of a trade paperback.
They really
They're
are.
massive.
But that's what made it stick out to me so much for anybody. And um, a lot of games, anybody who's familiar with SNK, like Capcom versus SNK games and things like that, and the King of Fighters, all that stuff got started through old Neo Geo line of games. Fun fact.
Yep. Yep, exactly that. So the thing that was unique about the Neo Geo at the time was, how do I put this? Okay, many game systems promised you the arcade experience at home. Neo Geo gave you the arcade. It was the same game code essentially that the
Mm-hmm.
arcade had. There was no differentiation in the graphics. It was exactly the same. Uh, the Neo Geo had a what was it called? Pick 4 or something like that. It was an arcade unit that used the same type of cartridge, slightly different cartridges, so they're not directly compatible, but you can get an adapter for it. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, they had these arcade units, and you could pay your money and play whichever of these 4 arcade games were preloaded in the cabinet. And inside the cabinet was basically this Neo Geo with a 4 cartridge adapter on it, and it would just select whichever one, and you would play that. They decided to release it for home, and it was I I don't want to call it a sea change because it didn't really change people's buying or whatever. It was not as successful as it probably should have been, and the big reason for that was price. This was the rich person's console because you
Yeah.
were getting exact duplicates of the arcade game at your house on your TV. And that was not cheap back in the day. That's why the cartridges were so big. They had to be to hold all the circuitry in order to create the arcade game on your TV. They were hellishly expensive back in the early 90s when they were an ongoing concern. I want to say they were like $700 or $800, which was impossible for everybody I knew. Nobody I knew had one of these things.
Oh yeah, no, I that's
Um,
same. Like this was one of those consoles where it was kind of like my great white elk that I had to go seek out to find one, you know?
Preach, brother. Preach, preach. Same with me. It was the impossible, unattainable goal. I acutely knew about its existence when it came out. I wanted one so desperately badly, but back then that was like 2 months' rent to get
Yeah.
one of these damn things, and the
It's
cartridges were like a month's rent. They were
yeah,
very expensive.
that's like because that's the thing about looking at it, trying to look at it and judge it now is like if you look at pure specs alone and what this console still means to some people to this day, you give it just an amazing ranking, but you also have to remember like part of the reason it was so amazing is because it was so just literally out of the budget for people.
Yeah, it was the unattainable for
Mm-hmm.
me until recently.
Dun dun dun.
Dun. So, the SNK Corporation has partnered with Play on Replay, a kind of a boutique maker of FPGA systems. FPGA, I can't remember what it stands for. I think it's Field Programmable Grid Array, which emulates. It doesn't emulate software; it emulates the chip itself that ran the software. So you get essentially the exact same experience as you would have on original hardware.
Mm-hmm.
What they have done, just like a couple months ago, I think they announced the Neo Geo. They're basically just making the Neo Geo again. Essentially, it's an FPGA unit, yes. So technically, it's chip emulation, but it's not the same as software emulation. So it's essentially indistinguishable from the original product. It does use the cartridges. It does not have a SD card slot or any way to sideload games on it, which is kind of a bummer. We'll get to that in a second. Um, but they're I don't know how else to say it. They're remaking the Neo Geo and bringing it out, and it's supposed to come out in November. I have reserved one of these. I've already paid for it. I am getting the white anniversary edition with the white Metal Slug cartridge that comes with it. Um, it's still expensive at $350 for the anniversary edition, but you do get a game with it. The games, they have got an initial lineup of I think 10 games, and they are $90 each.
Which
I haven't.
can we
Go ahead.
like it does sound really expensive, but when we compare, if we were to take the original prices and add inflation to them, I mean, you're still getting a deal compared to that price.
Yeah, yeah. Not just that, but the collector's market is absolutely batshit insane on these games. If you have an original copy of something like what's the one? Magician Lord, I think it. No, it wasn't Magician Lord. Oh, I can't remember which one it was now. Anyway, some of these cartridges, if you get them complete in box, they go for $2,000, which is absolutely insane for a single game. They're selling the reproductions now, and they're almost indistinguishable from the originals. Of course, they've fixed some things on the games, is my understanding. Some irritations that were happening at the time. They've fixed a few things, and they have modern manufacturing processes and all that sort of thing. But it's the same game code essentially. For $90 is not a terrible deal. Now, I haven't bought any of these because I'm waiting. There's a company, and I can't remember the name of it now, but they are, well, let me backtrack a bit. There's several companies that are making flash carts for these where you can put an SD card in it and load games off of that. And that would be an ideal way to do it, I think. But those are also very expensive. Those are $300 or $400 each on those things. There's another company that is supposed to be entering the market, and I cannot remember the name of the company. I'd have to find it. But they're supposed to be entering the market for a flash cart for this now that this new system is being released, and those are supposed to sell for around $300, which still a lot of money, but you could have every single Neo Geo game that you wanted to on the thing and just play it. And I'm very interested in one of those, but I have to wait to see if they're going to do that. A final note on this, according to Play on Replay, the first week of pre-sales for the new units have completely blown past their sales estimates for the entire year. So there is definitely a market for it. I feel very confident they will continue to bring out games for this. I feel very confident that there will be third-party vendors for this. I think it's going to be a big deal.
Awesome.
And
yeah. I'll say this.
I'm glad that I heard it.
It's like these. You said that these are going to be able to play the original cartridges, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Yep,
Completely compatible.
Yeah, because I'm gonna keep my eye out because we have that one nice used video game store in town. So I think next time I'm down that way, shopping, I'll peek in and see if they have any Neo Geo stuff lying around in there and what they're going for.
Yeah, it's compatible to the point where original controllers will work on it. Everything works on it. It's the same essentially. Yeah.
Awesome.
So the biggest difference, just real quick, it does have HDMI connectors on it. That is
huge now.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So like, there's so much to say, like, because there's so much that's cool about it, but then there's also the drawbacks. Do we A or B? Is where my mind is going here. You know.
I would say due to it has kind of an iconic stature and allure about it, and it was a very strong contender at the time. The only thing that was wrong with it, the one and only thing, was the price. So I would put it as A tier.
That's my thought as well here. And honestly, I'm kind of going on a similar yet different wavelength on the SNES.
Yep.
Because in my thought, like, okay. Let's face facts. If you were a Genesis kid, you're probably putting Genesis S tier. If you were a SNES kid, you're putting it as S tier. I would be willing to bet you. So maybe I'm a little, I don't know, I'm a little opinionated. I don't know. I didn't have one. That doesn't mean I looked negatively on it for that. I did look negative on it about the Mortal Kombat thing as a kid because, I mean, of course I did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course I did.
Taking away my blood.
I was a teenage boy who was playing fighting games, right? So, of course I wanted all that stuff in it. And
of course, yeah,
I don't know,
obviously.
like, Genesis just seemed to have everything I wanted. And, like, I wasn't as into Mario anymore as I was on the original NES from when I was younger. And it's funny, actually, here's a real funny. So after Super Mario Brothers 3, the the next Mario game that I for real played for myself, like actually picked up and said I want to play this game for myself and play it through, was Super Mario Maker 2. So that'll give
Nice.
you a sense of how long I went in between Mario titles.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And it's nothing against Mario. It's just it kind of just wasn't my thing after I became a Genesis kid.
Yeah, yeah.
So my thing about the SNES is it was honestly just as good as the Genesis as far as graphics goes. If anything, a little bit more powerful. But I think that it, in my opinion, I think it always ended up number 2 in that battle.
Yeah, I would very much agree with that. The Genesis came in with quite the splash. The SNES felt like something that Nintendo felt like they had to do, if that makes sense.
Oh, they probably would have been content to sit on the original NES for another few years. I'd be willing to bet you.
Oh yeah, what company wouldn't, you know? It was a good it was a very, very good console. In fact, I have one. I have an original SNES here at the house, and I also have the mini one. You know, and my SNES actually freaking works, and I've played it numerous times. So I'm very glad to have it. Don't get me wrong, but it did not have, I don't think, the cultural impact that like the Genesis did. The Genesis was a bigger deal, I guess, is what I'm saying, than the SNES was.
Oh yeah.
Although the SNES was a very worthy console, I think A tier is good for that one.
Yeah, I think A tier is definitely where it's at. We got a couple of odd entries here that came out around this time in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
See, here's this. I never had one. I remember these, but I never had one, so I can't really speak to it. And it's something Go, I think it's called, right? Or something. I'm trying to zoom in on it, but you see how well that's going for me.
Yeah, what is this?
NEC Turbo Express. Is ringing bell.
Oh, that's the TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah.
Or
It's the company.
I never had one. They were expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, NEC was the maker of all the TurboGrafx units. Yeah, that was basically the portable version of that. Yeah, it didn't have a cultural impact. I don't think they sold that well because they were kind of expensive. They had a color display and it was backlit. The display was, I think, the biggest selling point of the device, and battery life was, as always, a constant concern. I would probably put that as like a C, I think, if I were to place that somewhere. I didn't have one. I think I might have seen them a couple of times, but they just didn't have the cachet as some of the other items on the list. It was the timing was bad on that one.
I've been trying to figure out this next one, and I think I know what it is because I don't see it elsewhere in the list, and it matches up kind of. Okay, I think this is a CD.
It looks like a 3DO.
Well, isn't this a CDI?
Yeah, it looks like a 3DO. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
I 3DO.
would put that.
That's right. I think you're right. It is a 3DO.
Zoom in and see if it's Philips, because if it's Philips, it's definitely a 3DO.
This is the 3DO. Over here.
Oh, well, what's that one then?
Because
Is that a Nuon maybe?
This is 3DO, so I think this is
Yeah.
CDI. The Philips CDI. I think that's that one.
Oh, I am not at all familiar with that then. Can you zoom in on it a little bit?
Let me try. Yeah, I think this is CDI.
Oh, and I have no idea. I have no idea.
Because I don't know what this
Well,
is.
Well, I would guess that one and the next one I have no idea about.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with CDI for this because it's one I can
Yeah.
actually judge.
Yeah. And the one that's on the far left, I would also put that as a shrug because I really don't know. The Tecmo did a video on something called a Nuon, and it looks like that could possibly be that one. I don't know, but I'm a shrug. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm not seeing CDI anywhere else on the list, so that's why I'm thinking that, that's not it. this I think has to be it, and it's going into D
Yeah.
tier, by the way.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
CDI. So one thing it did a lot of were FMV games, which I'm going to guess that probably anybody under the age of 15 has no idea what that is.
Yeah. Like you're talking like Night Trap and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there was the full motion video is what FMV stood for, and they would do a lot of filming actual scenes with actors and such. Anybody who's ever played the game Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, kind of similar to that, but even before then, I've played games on a CDI, like within the last decade, believe it or not, because I know a guy who has one. And
Oh, no way.
yeah,
That's cool.
and like it was silly fun in the way that looking back at something that happened 15 years ago and being like, oh gosh, remember those silly days? It's that kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing that it gets the D for, and not the good kind of D.
I saw where you were going with that.
Those god awful Zelda games.
My boy.
I could eat
That
a
was-
whole Octorok.
Yeah, none of that was required, even at the time. None of that was all completely optional and did not need to exist.
It's just bad.
Mm.
Now this next one, if I'm looking at this right, is that how this a really?
That's a
It's a
CD,
Sega
isn't it?
CD. It's not the kind. It's not the model that I remember from being as a kid. But maybe this was the Japanese model versus the European model. Because
That's what I'm thinking, because Sega CD was a side by side, right?
yes, exactly. But this I don't think that's not the Sega CD. It looks like
I don't know what that is.
similar,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that is. If you don't know and I don't know, I'm gonna jump the gun there. But
Yeah.
Sega CD, we got to talk about. Okay. Sega CD to me was weird. And it's not the only one. You're going to notice another thing coming up. And I can already tell you. Let's just cover both of them right now. Because 32X is right here.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's just cover them both. Sega started doing this thing where their answer to answering what Nintendo was doing was to just... Shinobu said it. Model 1 was underneath. Model 2 was side by side.
Yeah, I just noticed that she posted that, so I was going to mention that.
Sega started doing these things where basically they made all their new stuff peripherals. They weren't making consoles, they were making all peripherals. And so it was like, attach this to your already existing console to make it more powerful. So they did that with the CD, they did that with the 32X.
Which was clever. I got to hand it to him. That's clever.
It didn't work, though. Let's face it.
No, it's clever, but it didn't quite take.
Long term, it didn't work, unfortunately. So, there's one game above all else that we have to talk about from the Sega CD, though. And that is Sonic CD, one of the greatest Sonic the Hedgehog games ever made, with one of the best soundtracks ever made, because it has two soundtracks and both are amazing from each continent. But that only gets it so far. So
one game is only just as good as the one game.
I'm thinking B.
Yeah.
Like it did do something.
Yeah.
It helped extend the Genesis's life. It had good games on it, but it wasn't spectacular.
Right. You had to be like a hardcore fan to really kind of dig into that.
And the 32X, I think I'm going to put in the same boat because of it. It for the exact same reasons. Like, it helped extend the life. There were some cool games. If Shinobu's still in the chat, was Knuckles Chaotic Sega Saturn or Sega 32X? I can't remember. That's the one I can't remember.
I also have a question for Shinobu. So at one time I had a Sega 32X brand new in box that I ended up with, and I think I may have given it to Shinobu. Did I do that, or was that did I misunderstand that situation? Because I don't have the hardware to connect it to or anything like that, and I think I just might have given it to her. So we'll wait on the answer for that
All right.
because I don't remember.
This is another weird handheld I don't remember. I remember things like this. I just never really picked up on one because they felt like they were going to come and go like that, and I was right.
Yeah, what the heck? Okay, so this makes me think of I forget the name of the damn thing. You can still find the commercial for it on YouTube. They were selling it as a 201 game console or whatever, and it looks like that. What does it say?
Supervision? It looks like
Yeah, it was some generic nonsense like that. I don't know what that is, but I actually found one of these damn things at a Goodwill for $2, and I bought it just for the ironic humor value of it, and it's basically like a bunch of Tetris and Breakout clones in a little black and white screen. But the reason they're well known, or somewhat well known at least, is they had these goofy infomercials that would air that were like 2 or 3 minutes long commercial breaks. This isn't that unit, so this is kind of a tangential story. But yeah, I ended up with one of those things for like $2, and it's ridiculous. So. Yeah, I don't know what that is, and I would put it as a shrug
So,
because I have no idea.
what
But it's probably crap.
Watara Supervision came out in '92 as a cut price competitor for Game Boy. It's exactly what we were describing. So,
Yeah. Just put it as yeah, shrug.
is this?
The 3-do.
Yep.
So here is I'll lead off with my experience on 3-do. I was working at a Sears store at the time these came out. And we were all excited to see them because it was like, oh man, full motion video games, man, this is gonna be great. And we got it in and we hooked it up so we could demo it and all these kinds of things. And it was not the how do I put this? The hype. It very much did not live up to its hype. They had movies for this thing that you could buy, and we sold the movies in addition to the games. We had Star Trek: The Motion Picture. And we would put that on just kind of in the background while we were working. And I watched it, and the compression on it was so bad. It was so bad. It looked like you're watching a movie, okay? It's a real Hollywood movie. And I swear to you, it looked like a video game. Like the background would be completely stock still, pixel still. And someone would walk, and it was like a 286 or 386 PC animation of someone walking. It was the strangest effect, and they did not sell well. I wish I had bought one because we closed them out at one point. I think we had $50 on them at the lowest point, and they were originally $300, $400. I don't remember now, but we had them at $50, and I kind of thought about buying one. I was like, no, this thing's garbage, and so I passed on it. I wish I would have bought it now just to have it, but yeah. That's the 3DO in a nutshell.
So, where do we place it with that?
That's going to be a D.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hard
That's
D.
what
for
I
me.
was hearing. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. It was they were trying to do movies on disc pre-DVD, and it just did not work. We just didn't have the tech for it at the time, and they tried, credit for trying, don't put it in F tier, but that's all they get is credit for trying. It was not good.
Yeah. Jaguar, we're here.
Jaguar. Neat console, very expensive for the time. I did not get one. I know very little about it, except some of the games were kind of cool.
It was just it felt like Atari going, ugh.
Yeah, it was the words "last hurrah" at the time very much fit this console. I think.
Yeah.
It was, as far as I'm aware, it was like a decent console, but it was just too little, too late.
I
I
have a feeling I'm going to say something similar for Sega Saturn coming up.
Yeah, I would put the Jaguar myself at probably a C or a D because it really
C,
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. C is good because C is good because it had the specs. It was actually a fairly decent system, but it just it didn't have the games that it needed, and it was too late, and just had all kinds of things. So yeah, C tier is good on that.
Do you know that one? That white...
I am seeing a white blob. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't
Can
either.
You...
I do not know that one.
Zoom in on it for a second. Let me see if there's any identifying
There's
markings on
yeah,
it.
because I couldn't see any. There's no words written on it or anything. It's just the most I
I have
can
no
tell.
idea.
Yeah, I've not seen anything like that.
Very plain. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
We've got our other Neo Geo friend here, which will be next.
Oh,
That's
the Neo Geo CD. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that basically what they did is took the Neo Geo and put the games on a disc.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
They were not like the original Neo Geo cartridges are essentially indestructible. CDs not so much. So where do we put Neo Geo? I
A.
would put that in a
We put it at
put that as a B.
B.
Yeah,
That's what I
put
was
that B.
thinking.
Because it had all the capabilities of the Neo Geo and it was less expensive, but the games were just on CD essentially. They were basically trying to release the Neo Geo at a lower price point because the CDs were easier to manufacture than the cartridges, and it wasn't a big seller, and yeah, it doesn't have the same cachet, so B is good.
Looking ahead, I think after I think we stop at Dreamcast just because afterwards we're gonna get into all the crazy 2000 early 2000 stuff that was like
Yeah.
everybody wanted to make a handheld all of a sudden.
Yep. But we also get into like the PS1, PS2 era, and that's a
I
whole
mean,
discussion.
yeah, that's gonna be a whole other thing. I kind of wanted to do retro at least for the start here because we've honestly already gone longer than I thought we would. So
Oh, that's
that's not
because
a
of me
bad.
blabbing.
Oh no, you kidding
This is
me?
totally your fault. This is your fault because you picked cocktails and old video game systems, and that's like my entire existence. So
Oh boy. Forward went and thought about topics that somebody would want to talk about with me.
I absolutely blame you for all of this.
I, I, you like. I love that you trusted me. You didn't ask me once before today which ones I picked either. You trusted
Oh
me
no,
enough.
I knew you would. You
Yeah.
would come up with something good. I knew you would. So I had
As
zero
soon as I
lack of
told
faith.
you earlier, I think it was instantly like, oh shit, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, a game time. All right.
These next two are a little oddball just on the design that I may have seen them, but I can't place them.
Yeah, I have
Like,
no idea what that first one is.
like this, like the thing about these is I feel like I would remember it if I saw it, especially the second one, because that blue shape
Yeah,
there.
that looks oddly familiar. What's the? Can you see the word on the top?
Let's
Is
find.
there anything legible there?
Let's.
Oh goodness.
Okay, hang on. This is what I get. Okay. Shrugs.
There you go.
Eesh, that's ooh.
Yeah. That's kind of a.
That's tough. That's a toughie.
Is that one of the European consoles? Maybe.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so it's
very
obviously
possible.
it's a disc system. So I'm wondering if it's like maybe a GameCube knockoff or something.
It very well could be. We're getting close to because well, our next one is PlayStation, so we're into disc
Oh.
territory.
Yeah.
All right, so PlayStation 1. There's so much we could talk about this console.
Oh dear lord.
The thing I want to focus on here is the fact of how close history was to being very different in the video game market. How close we were to having
I know what you're
the
talking about.
Nintendo PlayStation.
PS1. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. For those uninitiated, there is a video on YouTube, which is Ben Heck, spelled just like it sounds, Ben Heck. He gets his hands on this device and takes it apart and fixes some things on it. It's a fascinating video. It's like an hour plus long. It's a long video, but well worth the watch. It is the one of the last remaining. I think there's only 3 or 4 of these on the planet. It is a prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation. That was going to be a thing at one point before. Was it Sony or Nintendo that pulled the plug on that?
Nintendo.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So you want to know how they pulled the plug? It is a great story.
Let's hear this. Go ahead.
So
I'm interested.
Nintendo and Sony had been in talks about this, and Sony was busy mocking up the prototypes and stuff. And there was a big like press conference. I don't remember what event it was at. Insert video game event here, where Nintendo was going out. And the PlayStation people were thinking, okay, this might be it. This might be the time Nintendo says, hey, we're partnering with Sony. And instead, Nintendo came out and made an announcement of their next console.
And that was it.
And that was it. They basically...
The Sony people didn't know.
Correct. And so...
Oh, dang.
So Sony went, fuck you, we did all this work, and they took it, and eventually it became the PlayStation 1.
Wow. I knew there was a very bad
There's bad blood.
yeah, there was a very bad falling apart at the end there, but I didn't know exactly how that happened. That's
like there's more to that story. I'm telling a very bare bones version of it, and I don't remember the exact announcement or whatever, but basically Nintendo came out and announced like their next console or something like that basically put the writing on the wall of like, yeah, we're not going through with this deal with Sony.
Yeah. Well, a very similar situation happened with the Nintendo and Atari. Nintendo was originally going to get Atari to manufacture and distribute their systems in North America, and Atari saw that Nintendo had licensed Donkey Kong to Coleco, and they were not happy about it. And so Atari actually pulled the plug on that one, which in retrospect, obviously not a good move, but Atari pulled the plug on that one. And so that's how we got the NES instead of the Atari NES.
So PlayStation obviously changed the game. After PlayStation 1, like, granted, things are already moving towards CDs to be the norm for video games, but discs became the absolute norm after this.
Right.
Just
for a lot of reasons, they were cheaper.
They were cheaper to
cheaper
produce.
to manufacture. Yeah.
Right.
Cheaper to ship.
Nintendo just shied away from it for so long because it was easier to pirate. That was all.
Yep, exactly.
And over the years, I mean, honestly, watch some of the Did You Know Gaming stuff on piracy stuff from over the years, like the things that are coded into video games to try to prevent piracy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, some of them are hilarious.
So I almost think it almost has to go in S tier just for like just its place in history. And I mean, we've got Final Fantasy VII was on that console, so you know.
Oh, there were so many good games. I actually have a functional PS1, and I play Gran Turismo on it. Somewhat, it's been a while, but I play it somewhat regularly.
I still
actually
game. Wait, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna switch over to on camera view. Here's my PS1 copy of Final Fantasy VII, still in case with all the discs. So I still have it. This is one I've gotten rid of a lot of all my older stuff or consoles I don't have anymore. This I said no way. No way.
Oh, we totally have to play that shit. You realize?
Oh, hell yeah.
I am so down for that. Oh my god, you have no idea. I mean, that would be very exciting.
Granted, I mean, I've got this going on right now where I've got the remake and the original, but
perfect, of course. Why would you not have both?
Anyway, I think this is Sega Saturn next. And
yeah, I think so.
Sega Saturn is a lot of what you said about the Jaguar is what I'm going to say about Sega Saturn. It
too little, too late.
It wasn't that successful. They basically very shortly, like, here's a good example. Sonic Adventure started out as a very different game called Sonic Extreme, I think is what it was going to be called. Somebody can check me on that. I forget what it was originally called. But they had started work on a whole Sonic game, a whole new mainline Sonic title for the Sega Saturn. And the Saturn did so poor in performance that they came to them midway through production and said, actually, you should just start making it for the Dreamcast, for the next console.
Wow.
They didn't launch with the greatest titles. It was a decent system, but it kind of did nothing. So I kind of think I'm just going to put it right next to the Jaguar for that, for all that I just said, you know?
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense, and I would not argue that.
All right. Hang on. What is this guy? What is
It looks oddly familiar. I can't tell.
Oh, it is a Jaguar. It's a Jaguar CD.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I
Jaguar
thought.
CD. Yeah.
I
Okay, cool.
I thought it was Jaguar, and then I was like, wait, we already did Jaguar, and then I realized it was CD, and that's why.
Yeah. I would put that on the same
Same
tier
level.
as the. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really add anything except storage space is all, which was not as big of a deal back then. So yeah, it was kind of.
Before I zoom,
I don't want to say irrelevant, but kind of irrelevant.
before I zoom in, do you know either of these?
Uh, is the right one? See if there's an Apple logo on the second one. I wonder if that's a Pippin.
No, I don't think so. Something
No.
PC.
Oh no, that's a. It's that logo on the
Oh
front.
no,
What
it
the
is
heck
Pippin. It is a Pippin.
Is it? Yeah, it's a Pippin.
P-I-P-P-I-N.
Okay, yeah. It became a punchline.
Okay. Is that
That's
a
all there is. It became a
D tier?
punchline, yeah, D tier. The first one, that grayish looking one, I think that might be some variant of a TurboGrafx or a PC Engine box, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. We can, just
It
to
looks.
be.
Yeah, put in shrugs. It looks oddly familiar, but I don't know from where. And this looks like a SNES. Look at the controller.
It's a Super Famicom Disk System, is what it is.
Ah, okay.
So it is basically a Super Nintendo, but souped up.
Look at this. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
almost makes me go at, because Japan got so much more stuff for theirs than us. And I feel like if we would have did Japan, we would rank it there. Or maybe I just do this. Just put it high
I wouldn't
in A.
do S tier on that one just because I to be honest, I've never actually seen one of those. They did not make a big splash over here, and when you think about a tier list like this, you're always running it through your own lens, So
Yeah. Well,
I hate to be Western centric on this, but
there's like right here is another one we never got in the West. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
That's the Nintendo 64 disk drive system, the 64DD, that was so touted up and never left Japan.
What?
It was that much of a failure.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, because they were supposed to be Ocarina, Zelda 64, Ocarina of Time. There was talk there was going to be a souped up version of Zelda. It was going to be Zelda or Zelda or Zelda 64 DD. And if you've ever heard of the Master Quest for Ocarina of Time that came out, that is actually apparently they took the work they were doing to soup up Ocarina of Time for the disk drive and made it the Master Quest.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I have not heard any of this. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's there's a whole video I can send you on that. We just never got it over here, but I distinctly remember in the late 90s reading all about how we were supposed to get this thing, and you know me, I was such a Zelda kid, like Ocarina of Time.
Of course, yeah.
Literally, like, you want to talk about change your life games, that was it for me. The second I played that, it was like, oh my god, I'm in. I want to, like, get me a sword. I'm running through a field and cutting grass,
Yeah. I've had a few of those in my time. Those breaking your brain, how does this exist kind of games. Yeah, those are always good.
Well, and you got to remember, in 98, I was accustomed to video games being, like, most of what I played were fighting games, or, like, the most story I got was, like, Mario, or, like, the original Zelda, where you got your story was a couple of paragraphs, and that was it.
Right. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Mm-hmm. And
that's your lore.
Oh, you know it. So that was so huge to me. This is Sega's second attempt at a handhold, by the way. And it didn't do much better. And if you ask me,
what was it called?
It is. Hang on. Let me see if I can.
Game Gear 2. Please tell me it's not that.
Oh no, it's called the Nomad.
Oh,
I remember now.
Yeah, vaguely familiar, but it did not make an impact. So.
It didn't make an impact. I'm not sure on this one. This looks like it could be like 5 different things in my brain right now.
Oh, that may be another PC Engine variant. Can you zoom in on it? I am almost, but no, it's not a PC Engine because it's got a big cartridge slot. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's
It's got the small D pin connectors for the controllers on the front. I don't know what that is. Is that See, I think some of these may be knockoffs of consoles for other countries, and I think that may be like a
it
Nintendo
very
clone.
well. I mean, whoever made this list was thorough, but that's also why I went for this one because I figured if we just put a category we didn't recognize, we can just right through them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, the Virtual Boy.
Oh boy, here we go.
So
I still have not picked up my Virtual Boy reproduction from Nintendo. It's probably gone now, but yeah.
there's nowadays the thought of what the Virtual Boy is just like, wow, they did that.
Yeah, it was a big swing. They
But
took a big swing. They took a risk with it, but the tech wasn't there yet.
it just wasn't there. Everything was in red, which
Hmm.
not necessarily bad, but just not what you want for a video game of that type. Like, I get where, like, it would be cool if you were playing a game where you were um, like a submarine captain trying to locate other spy ships to torpedo them before they hit you. Like, that could be in
Yeah,
red.
yeah, yeah.
Mario Tennis, not the greatest.
Not so much. Yeah, yeah. So once again, a little personal story with the 3Do. We sold the Virtual Boy at essentially the same time because I was only there for like 2 or 3 years, I think, at Sears. But we had the Virtual Boy there, and I would take breaks and go play it. And I kid you not, I would play it for like 5 minutes and start getting a headache. It was like it was one of those things where I could tell they were trying to really push the technology forward, and I appreciated that at the time. But it was just not good. I don't know how else to describe it. It would give you a headache, or it gave me headaches at the time, and apparently a lot of other people as well. The 3D effect was really pretty good, but I think a lot of the headache stuff didn't come so much from the display as from having to hold your head in one position for an extended period of time while you tried to play something. It wasn't a good casual system for by any means.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the people who love it, because there is still this weird nostalgia with it,
Yeah, yeah.
admittedly. And, like, if you have the weird nostalgia about it, then it's for you. If you don't,
Right.
it's probably not. Like, you can see the what do you call it? Like, the Switch, you can on the new Switch 2, you can get a peripheral for it and all that stuff, but
Mhm. Yep, yep.
I I don't foresee really, like, I'd want the experience, but not it's not that worth that much to me. So it's like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
did.
same.
I think the fact that it did something / tried something takes it to C out of D, but only barely.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. C or possibly a D. I'm fine with a C. I think because there is so much nostalgia surrounding it.
It's
Um,
it's
and a,
it's
a
right on the
couple of the
cusp.
games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a couple of the games were pretty decent. There was some Mario game that was pretty good for it. I remember that's the one that I always played. But again, the design of it and the lack of tech. I mean, if you look into how the the Virtual Boy actually works, how it functions, how it makes images, it's a pretty amazing system that they pulled off
Exactly.
for a relatively low cost. But still, the tech still just wasn't quite there for it. If they would have waited about 2 years and come up with something that was wearable instead of having to stand it on a table, it would, I think, have been a much better success. But as it stands, it was not a big success and didn't have a cultural impact, and made me have to gulp down Excedrin. So yeah, I'll put it as a C.
Our next one here is a very interesting conversation to have.
Hmm.
This is a very nostalgic console for me. This console had the following games on it: The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It had the first Super Smash Brothers. It had GoldenEye 007. You
Yeah.
see where I'm going with
Yeah.
this. the
Oh,
games on
absolutely.
this console, we're still talking about 25 to 30 years later.
There is a company, and I can't remember the name of it. They are bringing out a brand new FPGA version, kind of similar to the Neo Geo situation, in all the transparent colors that these came out in. I
Oh,
want one so desperately badly, but I've bought the Neo Geo, so I can't afford it. So
right.
I'm kind of pissed.
The
So,
colors was a big buy. The other thing that this console did was have was I believe this was the first time they did it, was have spot for 4 playable characters, like 4, you can plug in 4 controllers onto one console.
yep, yep,
And that has been big ever since, because Nintendo kind of has kept that as part of their focus of like games that the family can play together, or you can get with your friends to play together. And
yep.
I think that's part of what kept me as a Nintendo guy for so long, because that's the type of games I want to play. Is I want to
Exactly. Still to this day, and
mm-hmm.
it's an underserved market. Absolutely.
Yep, I want to get my friend, like, okay, I can play anyone online. I don't want to play anyone online.
Yeah.
I want to
Thank you. Yes.
I want to
God.
get my friends together on the couch, and we all yell at each other as we knock each other over the side in Smash Brothers. You know,
Absolutely.
that's
Yep.
my thing.
I
So,
am 110% with you on that. What a great system. As far as my personal experiences with this one, this is both good and bad. My mother, of all people, had the green Nintendo 64, and we would play. God, what was it? Some Donkey Kong game. I don't remember, but it was so fun, and we would sit around and do that. And when she passed away. Uh, this is how I have the I have a PS1, a PS2, and a what was the other one? The SNES, the SNES that I have. I had a SNES myself, but she had one, and so that's the one that I have now. So I've got a PS1, a PS2, and a SNES from what she had, because she was really big into video games, which is crazy when you think about it, but for the time. But she had this Nintendo, and I'm assuming she sold it or something, because it was not in her stuff when she passed away. And I was so upset. I was like, God, I wish I had, out of all the consoles that I could have gotten, that's the one I wanted the most, because that's the one I had the strongest memories of. But to this day, I'm still searching for the green Nintendo
aw.
64. I will find
I,
it someday. Mark my words.
the yeah, it was wonderful. Now, I recognize technical spec wise, it wasn't that great. It did what
Right. It was kind of mid on that. Yeah.
it did what it needed to do, but it was very quickly kind of out of date. And hello Raiders, welcome.
Oh, we got rated. Nice.
Yay!
Hey guys, what's
Hope
up?
everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for the raid where we've been chatting video games. We're getting a little closer to the end, about consoles actually.
Yeah.
My
We're talking about old crap nobody's ever seen.
the N6 with the N64. Oh, hi Magic Pants. We're getting all the people. I love it.
Hey, people are cool. I
People
like people.
are awesome. I like it. So my only thing with the N64 is like, do I think I have to take it back a notch only just for performance. It's my only thing.
Yeah.
Is I'm thinking that I'm gonna put it here just for based on performance. Like otherwise, my memories are just holding me way too tied down to my first times going through the Great Deku Tree as a kid or something.
Yeah, yeah. And see, that's the thing with me, as the personal story that I gave about my mom. It's very rooted in. I'm very biased towards it.
Yeah.
Where did you put it? I didn't see where you put it.
Oh,
I
A.
blinked.
I put it in A.
Oh yeah. Okay, that works. That works. That's a good place for it. I would
All
concur
right.
with that.
And then let's wrap up the old nostalgia center bit at least. Because I think if we cut it here, I could even save the rest of this list for us to do another time, and we split the retro with the modern. It's not
Yeah,
a bad
for the
idea.
record, I would love to complete this list because there's a couple on here that are of personal interest.
I
So
can save it, yeah. Um,
cool.
Dreamcast. I loved my Dreamcast. I remember I was in my very first apartment, sitting on the floor in my bedroom, playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Memories of that.
The nostalgia, it bleeds through the TCP IP. Yeah, no. My only experience with the Dreamcast, I was we probably would have been selling it at the time, but I was away from Sears by the time that came out, I think. I had a friend named Cody back in my hometown, and he had one, and he invited me over, and we did the whole thing. We ordered pizza, and we played Dreamcast games, and I was so blown away by this damn thing because I'd played Nintendo, like I'd played NES and SNES, and obviously the N64, but the Dreamcast just seemed like this weird quantum leap forward from the future or something. It just, I can't remember exactly a specific thing that triggered this response in me, but I just remembered thinking that, wow, this is what games are going to be like in 10 years. And I absolutely loved it. And it was hellishly expensive, not as expensive as like the Neo Geo or whatever, but still pricey. And so I couldn't get one. And yeah, I didn't get a console for years after that.
I miss my Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Mine broke.
Oh, no.
And, well, at this point, who knows what happened to it. But it stopped working after moving from one place to another. So chances are what happened, I'm going to guess, is shit got moved around in there, and it probably needed somebody who knows what they're doing to go in and adjust things. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
at the time, I was a poor-ass teenager.
Yeah.
And or probably in my younger 20s that really couldn't afford that, and we were moving on to the next consoles anyway. So it got put into my stuff in a box in my dad's attic, and it's probably still in that same attic to this day.
Well, if you happen to visit your dad and get that back at some point, let me know because I would be more than happy to work on that for you. I don't have a huge amount of chops, but I got the PS1 and the PS2 both working again, so there's that.
Like,
Maybe it'll apply to this. I don't know.
The Dreamcast, we all know, was the death nail for Sega as a console maker. We do know that.
Yeah.
But those of us who had one freaking loved it. And, like, I think it's my favorite console.
It was damn good for what it was. I wonder. I've looked back on the Dreamcast and wonder why did it fail? Why did it not?
I think
work on fire.
From what I understand, the common conjecture is that it was too ahead of its time. That it was pumping all these new features in, and it was ergo just a tiny bit more expensive from it. And a lot of people went, "Oh, well, I'll just save money and do this, yada yada yada," not realizing that 5 years from then, that's how all consoles would be.
Yeah. Now, was the PS2 out at that time?
No. So the Dreamcast came out. It was it $99.99? I want to say.
Something. Yeah, there was some weird thing with the date. Yeah, I remember something about that.
Yeah, because it came out at the very tail end of the 90s. And if I'm not mistaken, the PlayStation 2 came out in either 2000 or 2001. Now, the PlayStation 2 was the death nail of a lot of things outside of Sony, because, like, the PlayStation 2, if I'm not mistaken, is still to this day the #1 highest selling video game console of all time.
That is correct. Yep. I want to say it's 155 million units or something like that. It's on the wiki.
Honestly, I get it. I had mine. I never had any complaints with it. It did everything I wanted to do. It gave me the games I wanted. I mean, I don't really need too much from my system at this point. Like, at this point in particular. Because at this point, the tech has evolved to a point. The graphics have evolved to a point where like I don't need everything in 28K.
Yeah. I
Like,
feel you.
you know, you tell me it's running high def, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. The 1080p is like the baseline, and that's once you hit that, I'm happy with it. You know.
now, other than that though, like I do want it like the where the console makers, and I think that this is true of a lot of them at this point, is I think they're putting a lot of their functionality and a lot of their stuff into their connectivity and their you know, because so many people play online now, so that's a lot of the base they're going for, is like, how do we keep the online players keep coming back to us to play the games on Sony?
Yeah.
Like, and that's it's we're in a new console day and age of console wars, and it's somehow the same but not the same as it was before, because everybody's still
Yeah.
fighting for who's going to play on which system, but the reasons why and the how they play and stuff is completely changed.
Yeah, well, you know, now that you're bringing that up, allow me to be the get off my lawn guy for a minute. So what we have now,
kids.
yeah, I'm growing this grass. What are you doing there? So what we're in now is this weird phase in gaming where companies have realized how much money they're going to be making from everything, and you have battle passes and annual passes, you know, that sort of thing, and everything's online and everything's connected and all of these things, and the graphics are incredible and everything's photorealistic and all this kind of stuff. But the games don't have the same cachet. They don't. Many times they don't have the same replayability and the same, for lack of a better word, the same hooks as some of the older games do. And I think that's why retro game is so freaking hot right now.
I was gonna say that,
We
and
desire a simpler time, you know.
indie developers are very big right now.
Oh yes.
Like if there's one thing Nintendo has actually been really smart about in the last couple of years, it's been about getting partners from indie developers on board.
Totally
And,
agreed. Totally agreed.
like, I honestly, I gotta check, because there was a sale and I was gonna buy a game, and I don't know if it's still on sale or
Oh
not.
no.
I've been wanting to get the Plucky Squire to play on stream. It looks so cute. And it's by an indie developer, and it was like half off on the Nintendo store, and I gotta see if it's still on sale. But like, I just want a nice. Well, here's the other thing too, and this is another on my lawn. Remember when our games arrived finished?
That's something to celebrate, honestly.
Like, I'm so happy to buy a game that doesn't have awaiting DLC to finish the story.
Yeah, or day one patches and all these sorts of things. I mean, it's good that we can do that, but we've tended, I shouldn't say we've, the game publishers have tended to rely on that a little too much in recent years, I think.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that stuff, but like
Yeah, absolutely.
like Pokemon's actually, people bitch about the Pokemon DLC, but my point to that, because I have my own gripes with the Pokemon company right now, but it's not with the games. Well, okay, so partially is, but anyway. But like, so Scarlet and Violet came out. If you bought Scarlet or Violet, you can play a full, complete game, start to finish. And then the DLC is just an extra chapters on top of that you don't need, but they're nice. I like
it's fun
that. Yeah. So that's my whole thing. I like, I don't mind spending money on games when they are, but I also don't have as much money to buy. Like, you know, I'm not 12 anymore.
Yep.
I didn't have money at 12, but I at least had, you know, it's like, it was different when I was a kid looking at games as it is now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
If I'm buying a game now, like I Sega Saturn, yes, we did rate Sega Saturn. It's I believe we put that in with the Jaguar, because it was like all of our Sega stuff's kind of in the middle here. Most of it is, except for this, which is going into S tier. I don't give a shit.
It's my list, damn it.
Dreamcast was my baby. Um, although we did put the Genesis in S2.
Yeah, yeah, and I will defend that choice there. I think Genesis had enough of an impact to qualify for that for sure.
Yeah. Because some of this too, it's like it's not even dissing some of the stuff that's here in the middle. It was just like some of this stuff had to get ranked above it.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. That's the way these tier lists work. You know, you bounce stuff around. It's all good.
Yeah, but this has been fun.
Absolutely. And just a quick little note on the indie stuff. You know, with AAA companies being what they are nowadays, and the way the games industry is going right now, I am every single day it seems like I get more ammunition in my mind to convince me that I am correct on this. I really feel that indie games are kind of the way of the future. I am very excited about a lot of things happening in the indie scene, and I want to see where this leads in the next few years. I think there's going to be a big shift towards smaller and indie publishers. Just making good games. That's all. Just make good games. You know, period.
There's something about having like people who want to make a game because they want to make this game and that's their driving force versus a bunch of corporate people who are like, I hope I get paid.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly. Oh, we have some chat comments that I have missed here. I wasn't watching this. Let's see. Lots of nostalgia. Cast of my dreams. This grass is made for walking, and that's just what I'll do.
One of these days, these.
This grass is gonna walk all over you. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Wait a second.
Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah. I got cart before the horse there. Subnautica, very nice. Yes, I can't wait to play that. I can't afford it yet, but at some point I will. And did you rate the Sega Saturn just yet? By the way,
Yeah, that was in the middle. That was in the middle there with like all the 8 Sega peripherals kind of got right here in the middle around B, just like as a. We put the Genesis here, and then the peripherals were all add-on, so they kind of just got a little bit below it.
Yeah, yeah. Shinobu never said whether or not I gave her that 32X because I don't remember. I think
she may have had to dip off. I mean, I'm gonna be like, once we finish up here, I'm going for food. I know, so.
Yeah, yeah. I think I still physically have the unit. I just wanted to make sure I didn't like promise it to her or something before I try to do anything.
Shinobu's there.
Oh, hey. Sorry, it was out of room. I'm trying to figure out if I gave you the Sega 32X, the one in the box, or if I don't remember what happened with that.
I'm like circling it on the screen.
That one, that thing there.
Actually, wait, you can't even see my mouse on the screen. Oh, and
yeah,
you said yes.
It came with the Star Wars game.
Oh,
if that helps.
Star Wars games are fun.
It always says yes, you did. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. We had worked something out on it, so.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Brett, for joining me this evening. I figured this would be some fun to do.
This has been a blast. Yeah, I thank you for inviting me and allowing me to rattle on endlessly about these consoles that I'm so passionate about.
Absolutely. I want to thank everyone in the chat for coming today. This has been a funerific stream. Great way to wind up the weekend, and I hope everybody has a good rest of your June. We'll have more stuff that we're going to stream, I'm sure, later this week. But
happy Pride to those who celebrate.
Yes, happy Pride. Happy. Where's my Sylveon to remind you trans rights are human rights? Yes.
There you go.
All right. Take care, everybody, and we will see you all again soon. Love y'all.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Take care.